Morning, Raptor Freak Alexiot's here Friday morning. What a great week the Raptors are having this week. Oh my gosh. Our team is for real, y'all. And this is a seriously badass NBA team that we've got here in Toronto now. I mean, this is insane what's happening right now. So good that we beat the Bulls last night finally. We had not beaten them yet this year. And it was a really, really interesting way that they beat them, that they outvetted the vets. Like I said yesterday, there are two ways they can win this game. Either they get out to a huge lead and they just blow them out and beat them by a nice margin the whole game, or they get into a close game by the end and then they have to outvet them. And boy, did we almost screw up and lose the game right at the end of regulation. But Scottie Barnes, huge putback to tie it and put it in regulation. Once again, Scottie involved in these overtime games happening. And it's just a testament to his aptitude and his skill as a rookie, and the fact that he's ahead of schedule. And that really is a reason why our team is ahead of schedule in general with its development. Is because we don't have normal rookies. We have rookies that are doing amazingly huge things for the team already in their first year, and Scottie does not play like a rookie. It's so insane, the collective synergy between the five starters right now, because all five of those guys are contributing in high levels at the end of the game and making sure that we win. And they're all doing different things at different times, whether it's boxing out, whether it's making sure the defensive coverage is strong, whether it's making the shot, whether it's making the extra pass, whether it's getting the block. It's all this stuff all at once, and all of them are doing different things in the last couple minutes of the game to help. And it's amazing and it's beautiful to see. It's pure teamwork. It's pure team play. And it's just like the collective. It's such a collective. Our team is such a collective right now. These guys are not playing for themselves. They're playing all together as a group for each other. And it's so beautiful to see. It's amazing. That's why they do so well. All right. Good morning, Tom Duke. I was stressed like Callie near the end of the game. Good morning, sir. Great W. Yeah, Tom, I can't disagree with that. I was stressed as well. I mean, whenever you have DeMar DeRozan on the other side and the game is close, you know that this guy's going to get the ball and he's going to try and either get a foul shot or he's going to make a nice shot, whether it's his mid-range or even bombing his threes at times. He's such a threat. And last night, we couldn't do jack shit with Vucevic. Vucevic absolutely killed us last night. He was a monster, getting like 30 points and 18 rebounds with 4 assists on 13 to 21 shooting. Vucevic was their best player last night, but I really like how we handled DeMar and Zach for the most part during the game. We really limited DeMar in the first half. It was really in the second half that he got most of his points and was trying to get his team back into the game. But otherwise, we had really limited and stymied their wings, which was a very good key for us to be in the lead for most of the game and doing things and stuff like that. Barnes was missing those at first. His growth is huge. Yeah. I mean, he had that one put back earlier in the season that was just a half second too late, if you remember. That was the Cleveland game that they beat us in the last second. Scottie had the tip in, and he was like a half second too late on that one. And it's really great to see that he had enough time this time. And it was a really good amount of time, too, because there was 0.7 seconds left on the clock. So he really got it right in there, right at the right time. Because at the other end, the other Bulls didn't get a good look to try and get that last shot to win it right then. And then in the overtime, they did just a really good job of, and this is what Nick Nurse described it in the post-game conference, was that the team, when you have to go into overtime like that, sometimes a team gets rattled because they didn't think they'd have to go into it, but they kept their composure and they didn't have this feel to them that like they were in trouble just because the Bulls made us go into overtime. That they kept their composure and they kept doing what they were doing and they continued to be successful. And that was huge. I mean, huge threes by OG in the overtime. Gary Trent being so wide open and hitting that dagger. Then like huge stuff like Chris Boucher getting that steal block at near the end of the game also to get the ball from them when they had a chance to possibly score and tie the game at that point. There were so many good little plays by different Raptors at different times near the end of the game that was fantastic. I mean, Logo Fred, once again, Fred hitting a logo area shot and Matt calling it Logo Fred, Logo Fred. I love that so much, Logo Fred. If this is going to be a thing now that we're calling him Logo Fred, I'm all for it. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. G saying Fred is an amazing leader. He tended to Gary's knee. He got Barnes to keep playing when Barnes was mad at Bam for smacking him, etc. Things not in the stat sheets. Fred is really an amazing leader. And last night was such a love fest for him. And you know what? Listen, there's a dual-edged sword about him getting his all-star last night. Sure, it's really sad that he didn't get to accept it and have the ovation from a full entire crowd last night. In some ways, I feel like that was his moment of sadness, like Serge coming back and not having anybody here, or what would have happened to Kyle or Norman. But if they came back with no fans in there, because that was really Fred's night last night. It's a special night. At least there were at least 500 fans in there. Very, very, very lucky fans that they get to say that they were at this game last night. It was really good that they were there. But the funny thing that Fred said after the game is the way that he found out that he got the All-Star was from the crowd. That he was out there shooting around. He wasn't monitoring it. They had him waiting in the back to do an interview just in case he got it, but he was bored and he didn't feel like hanging out back there anymore. So he came back out to the court and was practicing and shooting around with his teammates. And then all of a sudden he heard a little bit of an ovation from the people that were in the crowd. And that's when he learned that he got All-Star, was from the crowd reaction in the arena during the shootout. And to me, that's really fitting and special in itself, that he found out from the fans. But it is too sad that he didn't have the full appreciate and support. But we're going to make sure he gets this correctly when we finally get in the building. Oh, yeah, we will. Jason Smith, good morning. Big win. I completely agree. This is saying something. We have managed to beat the number one team in the Eastern Conference three times this week, because of the way they've been sitting in different places. It's like, DeMar, we'll do you a favor. We'll beat Kyle's team a couple times for you this week so you can get back into first place. But when you get into first place and you have to come see us, we're going to beat you back down also to help out Kyle. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're doing. It's like, who's the Eastern Conference champion or the leader right now? Yeah, come see us. We'll beat you. But now we're getting this really great, interesting match tonight with Atlanta again. Played them on Monday. We beat them pretty good. They didn't have Trey, but they played last night also. And they're going to be playing on the second night of a back-to-back against us here in Toronto. And they played the Suns last night, the number one team in the NBA. So they just beat the Suns last night. They beat their 11-game win streak is over because the Hawks beat them last night. Trae Young returned, got 43 points last night. And so now we've got two teams facing tonight, Atlanta and Toronto, and they both beat the top teams in the other conference, the two conferences right now. The one team beat the Eastern Conference leader, and the other team beat the Western Conference leader. And so that's going to be the matchup tonight. Bam, 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 bam. Hawks and Raptors, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! You feel like some popcorn chicken tonight? I feel like some popcorn chicken tonight. Oh, yeah. We'll do a proper preview in just a little bit with all the injuries and stuff like that. I just want to keep going with what you guys are saying here. We'll talk more about last night and Fred's all-star berth and all kinds of other great things that are happening in Raptor World, because it is great what's happening in Raptor World right now, baby. Oh, my gosh. It's so amazing and phenomenal. Oh, my gosh. Monty Python, let's go. Man, oh, man, best game I've seen Boucher play in 3 years. Wow. And this is an incredible statement to make, Monty, because if you think about all of the fantastic scoring games he's had, like 30-point scoring games where Chris had, where he had to bomb a bunch of threes and he had to be like the focal point of our offense because of COVID and we're being in Tampa and stuff like that last year. He had all these games last year that statistically are better than what he did last night. But you think that he had the best game he's played for the Toronto Raptors in his entire career last night? I will agree with you. And you know why I will? Because we saw all the intangibles on the court last night from Chris Boucher at different times, whether it was him baiting the other team into getting a foul on him from positioning for rebounds like Rodman used to do. Yeah, he did that again last night. He kept us possession by getting a foul put on him, by getting pushed in the back, that big block at the end of the game last night, whether it's just like filling up the lane and getting to the basket and putting the ball in there. I mean, he only played 25 minutes, but he had 16 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, an assist. He only attempted 1 3. He didn't make it, but man, he had great production. And wasn't it cool to see Chris put the ball on the floor and dribble to the basket and try and drive? The more we see Chris start to do that, it's going to be nasty for other teams. They're not going to want to see Chris trying to be like a driver and slasher to the basket because they won't be able to stop him in some ways. And honestly, he's so good near the basket when he's going to the basket like that. And he made so many nice dunks. There were alley-oops. There were like transition dunks. He's just so nasty in the paint last night. And man, I'm so happy for Chris. Fat headband Chris is a badass. And once again, after the game, the picture of Rodman by any means necessary. This man is playing his heart through Rodman's old avatar, and he is trying to do some stuff, and it's role playing. It's being such a badass. It's the defensive stuff. It's the energy stuff. It's the rebounding. It's just everything. He's a nuisance to the other team, and he wants to be. Yeah, he wants to be. He is working himself to be a nuisance for the other team. People do not like Chris Boucher on the other team right now because he's all over the place and he's annoying. Oh, yeah, and I love it. I totally agree, Monty. Last night may have been the greatest game that Chris Boucher has ever played for the Raptors, and it doesn't have anything to do with his scoring. It does not. It has to do with everything else. Amazing game. All right, let's keep going. Paul B. Fred VanVleet. Oh, yeah. How sweet it is. Rockford's finest finally getting these kudos that he probably deserved last year. But we know that because of the COVID year and the bad record and different things, he was actually sick around the time All-Stars going on anyway. And now he's getting the deserved, the just due. The way they announced it was kind of annoying because it's alphabetical. And of course, Fred's name's at the end. And we kept seeing all these Eastern guards getting selected, like Garland and Butler and Levine, and we're like, oh crap, what is there going to be a place for Fred? And there was. Thank God there was. It would have been a crime and a travesty if he had not gotten selected last night, and thank God he did. But if he hadn't, just think about the chip on his shoulder that he'd be playing with in the next couple weeks. Oh yeah, if he had found out he wasn't getting it last night, you probably would have seen this man go crazy last night. Oh yeah, but he got it, and that's all that matters. And I'm so happy and proud of Fred because he's not supposed to be an all-star. He's not supposed to be starting in the NBA. He's made all this happen because he bet on himself. He believed higher in himself than other people did, and he excelled, and he's achieved, and he's going to keep going. This is the thing I love about our two all-stars, Pascal and Fred, is that these guys are not resting on their laurels. They are continuing to develop and excel as NBA players in other areas as far as leadership, honing their offensive abilities, and just getting better and better. And these guys, we act like they're in their 30s, but they're only like 26, 27. They are so young still, and they have so much time in this league still to even more refine and get better and better. And these guys will be like DeMar. They will get better and better like wine as they age, and they will become more and more smart and unstoppable with experience and what they're doing. And I am so excited for it because these guys will not stop learning. They will always learn and they will always get better. And that's the scariest thing about a really good superstar is when they decide that they're not good enough and they continue to grow. And that's why Michael was better. That's why Kobe is better. These guys continue to grow and always put that compete out there and work hard no matter what level they got to in their career. And that's the kind of guys that Fred and Pascal are. And I love that because they set the tone for everybody else. They are working hard at that where they are and they're achieving like crazy. They don't stop. They keep going. Oh, man, what a great team. Yes. All right, let me see what else you said, Paul. What a team effort. What a game. Spicy P is essential to our success as much as Fred's dagger threes and Gary hitting his shots and OG. That's it, OG. Yeah, like I said, in the last two wins against Miami and Chicago, Tuesday and Thursday night, we've seen an all-around team effort in little ways in different places, whether it's Scottie bringing down a defensive rebound with two hands to ensure that the possession for the other team is over, or it's just OG being found in the last couple minutes of the game and him making that three. He doesn't shoot to miss, league, so you don't want to forget about OG or any of our guys, and that's what makes them so deadly and nasty, is that if you want to try and double Pascal, well, you're going to leave one of our guys open, and they're all super capable. And Nick said this after the game. This is the NBA now. You need to have all 5 of your guys be able to score out there. This is the way the NBA is now. And that's part of the reason why he's playing who he's playing so much and so heavy. But I love it, honestly. With Kem showing up all of a sudden last night at the last minute, we have a 9-man rotation that is really good. And you could throw Justin in there too and make it 10 if you need to. And it's really crazy that our first real guys off the bench are still our 3 centers, really. It's going to be Kem and Precious and Boucher, and they'll be the 3 guys that come off the bench, and they're all pretty much forward centers. So, man, this team is really weird how it's constructed, but it's working really well, and it's really nasty. I love it so much. Paul B, I almost want that Precious coast to coast inside out move in one. I really like that too. I was thinking about that when Precious made that move. And this is the thing. This isn't the first time he's done this, where he rebounds the ball and he picks up the dribble himself and brings it up court, but he reads the court and he sees the opening and he just gets aggressive and goes. This is very basic basketball 101, that if the defense is not going to pick you up in transition and the lane is open to go to the basket, you go straight to the basket. And the fact that Precious is reading it and seeing it himself as who he is and what position he plays on our team, that's nasty, because what he's doing is what a 2 guard would do. What he's doing is what a swing would do. A small forward, not a big guy like him, not an athlete like him, and it's nasty. And that was such a nasty dunk, and it was late in the game. And listen, these guys are contributing in so many different ways in different times, and the thing is, they can do it all in different ways at any given time. That's the switchability of it, is coming out really nice, because it's different guys can block, different guys can rebound, different guys can shoot, different guys can shoot threes. Whoever needs to fill that need, if they're there, they can do it, and they hopefully execute. It's so nasty. Other teams are really on notice. And really, the way we beat Chicago last night was very telling, because they were trying their damnedest to beat us last night with their vets, and they had their guys. Levine missed a layup, and DeMar kept going to the free throw line, and they were trying to do different things to get their shots, but we still held them down better near the end of the game. Now, we let them get back into the game again in the fourth quarter. We had a good lead for a while, and we were pouring the syrup on at different times in the game. I was very happy with the amount of syrup we had on them for a lot of the game last night. But in the second half, they were going to make their surge. They're going to try and come back and win that game, and we withstood it, and we did really well. The fact that we had to go to overtime and that we won in overtime still is really huge. It's huge, because the momentum was going towards them, and we just stopped it, and we said, no, your momentum isn't enough to win this game. You can tie it up and put us into overtime, but no, that's it. You get that, and we win in overtime. That's how it's going down. So it really, really was a great veteran win by a team that's not supposed to be a veteran team. So let's see. Graham saying a great team win. We even got to see Banton. Yeah, Banton wasn't bad last night. Once again, his length really fits in really nicely with the guys. Listen to this line, guys. Banton only played 11 minutes last night. He was 1 of 5. He didn't shoot particularly well. He had 1 putback, but he had 6 rebounds last night, guys. Banton was really active on the board last night with 6 rebounds in 11 minutes. That's the kind of stuff that Justin Champagnie does. So it's like we had Banton doing his Justin Champagnie out there last night. So let's see. G saying, also, Boucher has been a great energy and doing a ton of dirty work. Oh, yeah, tons of dirty work. Just getting after the ball, hustling, falling all over the place. Like I said, sacrificing his body to take charges. Like, we've seen that a couple times this week, where Chris is jumping in front of guys and taking charges at hugely, hugely important times in the game. Like that, I was waiting for somebody on this team to start doing that since Kyle left. It's like Kyle leaves and nobody on our team's going to take charges anymore. Well, Chris is getting in the habit of doing it again, and it's risky for him to do it because he's so skinny. Guys can go right around him, even if he sets that target for them to hit. He's skinny enough that they could kind of sidestep him still, and so it's harder for him to get those charges in some ways and be exactly lined up with the offensive player, is because he's so skinny. But he did it and he got him. And of course, the other team thinks about challenging those kind of calls and stuff like that. And, but he's gotten 2 successful charges this week in important games. And I'm really proud of him for that, because we do need somebody like that does that. Like Miami does that like crazy. We saw them doing that to us in the game the other night. So, it's good. It's a good thing to have what Kyle used to do. And I'm surprised more of our guys aren't trying to do it. Of course, part of it is it's a high risk thing where you just sacrifice your body and you may get the refs to swallow the whistle, and they may not even help you out. And you may take all that for nothing. So it's really, really, really gutsy, Chris, doing that right now. I love it. Paul B too, go on the dunk list. Yeah, the precious dunk. If you want, man, I'm going to trust your judgment with your list. Paul, you can order this list however you want, and maybe at the end of the year, you'll present it to us, and we'll get all the clips like you posted that one time for me when you clipped them, put them all in the comment section. We'll do a presentation in the off season when we don't have any games to speculate. We'll do a special Raptor Freak live stream episode, Paul B's Dunks of the Year. So please, sir, if you could compile your list and make sure that it's ordered the way you'd like it to be, we'll do a presentation after the season's over when I have to find content to make. I'll need you, my friend. We'll make a special Paul B and Raptor Freak collaboration episode, the Dunks of the Year. How about it, my friend? I would love to do that with you. All right, let's see. Paul B's also saying Boucher was A+. Freddie logo Freddie. I love it. Freddie All-Star. So awesome. It was such a family affair last night in the building. I'm watching it and the crowd's nice and friendly. I mean, Gary Trent Sr.'s there again in a fur coat. And one of the guys in the Facebook group I'm in on Facebook, that's a Raptor fan group, he was at the game last night taking pictures all over the place of himself. And he got a really nice picture of himself with Gary Trent Sr. And I'm telling you, he was wearing the flyest fur coat. He was looking like his son's style is rubbing off on him, even though he's over there eating all kinds of snacks and just getting down in the crowd over there. But it was such a family affair. We see Drake sitting at half court once again for this game, just like on Tuesday, and he's sitting there with his son Adonis. He was sitting there with his little son, curly hair. That's his son, Adonis, that was at the game with him at the beginning of the game. And then at some point in the first half, Adonis disappeared because I'm pretty sure it was his bedtime, that he had to leave and go and have his bedtime somewhere. But that was neat. That was a cute little thing. And of course, Drake being there, DeMar being there, for Fred getting his All-Star last night was so special and such a special kind of thing. Seriously. And I know DeMar was so proud of him. And it's going to be cool that those guys are going to get to be hopefully on the same team. I don't know. It's all out the window because they pick the teams and it's schoolyard picking. So I don't know if they'll be on the same team or not, DeMar and Fred. But it'd be real nice if they were. So, yeah, and all the love for Fred on Instagram last night after getting the All-Star from around the league, whether it's Kyle, whether it's, Bradley Beal, different people just showing real love to him, appreciation of him and who he is and what he's built himself into. He's so deserved and so awesome to see for him. All right, let's keep going. Tom Duke says 17 for 19 free throws for the Raps. I'm glad you brought this up, Tom. Yes, the Raptors did a fantastic job at the free throw line last night. They really, really, I guess they've really been listening to their coaches and the fans and different people about making their free throws, because they made it a real priority last night, and they did not miss a free throw until the fourth quarter last night, y'all. They made every single one of their opportunities at the free throw line until they finally missed a couple in the fourth quarter last night. And that's fantastic that they only missed 2. They shot 90% from the line, and that is exactly what we need and we want. Just think if they had shot more poorly at the free throw line last night like they have been recently, this game may not have shook out the way it did. That we needed those extra points to keep the margin where it was at the end with 112, 114 kind of stuff going on there with Scottie Barnes making the putback. We needed every single one of those extra points. And I'm so glad that they realized it and that they did it, because that's what's going to help them win, is that they make their free throws. And they did it last night. And that was a part of the equation for why they did win last night. Andrew, let's go. You're saying it's the biggest win of the season again. I know we keep saying this. It's like the triple overtime win against Miami, biggest game of the season. I think that one is still it, just because of how dragged out it was, how much of a slobber knocker it was between Miami and Toronto on Saturday night, and just got so much attention. And now we're running with it. Like we're going to keep winning these games through this week with Miami, Atlanta, Chicago. Who gives a shit? Bring us whoever you want to bring us. Bring us the Monstars. We'll fuck them up. You know, we're a buzzsaw of a team. Nobody wants to play us. And the thing is, this so crazy is these guys are expending such an amazing amount of energy for the whole game all the time. It's just nasty. We're like a very annoying team to most teams now because they just know that they're going to not have an easy time when they play us in any kind of way. Whether it's on the boards, whether it's trying to bring the ball up the court, whether it's trying to pass the ball to each other, trying to get an open shot. None of that stuff is easy or given when you're playing the Toronto Raptors. You're going to get hassled. You're going to get deflected. You're going to get bugged. You're going to get blocked. You're going to get stealed. You're going to get out-rebounded because that's what this team is doing. They're all out energy all the time on the court. Like it's used to be crazy to me. Like when I used to coach basketball, I'd love to do a full court press, but I had to depend on my guys being able to not get so tired from being up and down the court and hustling so much. Well, these guys, it's just expected that you need to play this level all the time. And that's that. And this is super conditioning. Like at this point, I'm not worried about these guys getting tired at the end of the games anymore because somehow, some way, Nick Nurse's crazy diabolical coaching has made these men into superhuman people that do not get tired anymore. That these guys, when it gets to the end of the game, they don't look tired anymore. And I think because the five of them have a synergy that keeps each other going, that they actually kind of like, because they're so balanced in what they're doing. If somebody needs to get the rebound, somebody's there to get the rebound. Somebody needs to make the pass. Somebody needs to make the shot. Somebody needs to make the penetration and the kick out to the open guy. Somebody is finding each role and each time and each place, and they're getting the good things happening because they're doing it all right and correctly. And a lot of it's just a testament to, first of all, our coaching staff and the schemes that they're coming up with. Because once again, we saw that flex offense in effect. It's all over our offensive end now. It's all that screening and cutting and going around this way and the looping around into the lane and all that stuff. That's the flex offense. And basically, they're all working towards getting an open shot. And that's why our offense is looking better and better. Because it's flowing better, because these guys are working open to get shots because of all the screening and passing and stuff. Man, this team is nasty. There's so many good things about it. Let me keep reading what you guys are saying. Sue, good morning. What is Sue saying? Oh, it jumped. All right, let me get it back. Oh, yeah, you guys are way ahead. I got to catch up. Good morning, everyone. Wow, what a game. So impressed with our boys. Great win. Yes, totally agree. Fantastic win. G saying, I noticed Raptors, many fans really understand the impact of defense. I noticed some fan bases only care and talk about scoring with no regard about defense. Well, you're talking about somebody like the Houston Rockets for all those years with James Harden. They never played any defense. They were just all about trying to outscore the other team. Well, this is the fundamentals of basketball. This is something that was taught to me very, very young, like from the 80s. Watching 80s basketball, the team that played the best defense won. And that was the bad boy defense of the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s. That's how they beat the Lakers. That's how they kept the Bulls down with Michael Jordan until he finally overcame them, was their defense. And that's the thing that wins championship. It always has been that. And that's why I get so sick and tired of all these teams that they build with superstars. Just because they're good offensively doesn't mean they do jack shit on the other end. That they could be the laziest motherfuckers on defense, but they still score 40 points. And that's a big difference, is that, defense wins championships. And that's why we're building our team the right way. These other teams can focus on offense and try and outscore other teams, but there's no given guaranteed surefire way of winning games that way, because another team may shoot better than you, and then you're in trouble. And this is the glorious thing about our system, is we can shoot worse than the other team, but because we get so many turnovers, so many offensive rebounds, we get way more shots than them. And what happened last night was the Bulls actually shot better than us, but we had 5 more field goals made than them because we took 23 more shots. And that's the thing. You don't have to shoot super good if you're getting way more opportunities. And that's what this Raptor team's been doing all season. It's insane. It's such a brilliant strategy in some ways that, it doesn't really matter if we shoot bad. We will still win because we're going to get way more shots than you. And that's what they're doing. I think it's insane and it's amazing and it's brilliant. Honestly, it's brilliant. If you have that kind of athleticism on your team that you can beat a team like that, where you get more turnovers and get the ball more off the boards, then yeah, absolutely utilize it and excel because of it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Let's keep going. Monty Python, when Chris uses his size and length properly, he's impossible to stop, man. I was so proud of him. You know, he would, if you watched Chris back in his 905 days when he was playing for the 905, he was really the focal main scorer for that team and also the defensive player team on the other end. He was like two ends. He was the best player. But like his offense was very in the paint. It wasn't this 3-point shooting that he did last year. I'm talking about like a couple years ago when he was the G League MVP and defensive player. He was making most of his points down low with like little hooks and little shots over people or dunks, just pure dunks, dunking over people because he's longer than them and stuff like that. You know, his offense is not what he's trying to develop at this point, but he's still really good offensive player. This is the thing. If he wants to be like Dennis Rodman, he already shoots better than Dennis Rodman. He's already better offensive player than Rodman. So he's some sort of weird hybrid, like a taller, longer armed Rodman that can actually score, which is crazy. I mean, he's not as good on defense as Rodman because he's not as strong as him. But he can at least out jump guys and get to the ball better than other guys like Rodman can because of his length. So he's such a great player. Honestly, I love Chris Boucher so much right now. Fat headband Chris Boucher himself is just, oh my gosh, amazing. So good. And he's all in those parts of the kudos for everybody too. Every night he's posting something about Gary Trent. He's posting something about Fred, Pascal. He's celebrating all of his teammates right along with everybody else. And you can tell he really is a part of our unit. And it really is hurting my heart how much people are using him as a bargaining chip in the middle of trade talks right now. Fuck that shit. We're keeping Chris Boucher. We're going to re-sign him this summer and he's going to be a Raptor next year. It just doesn't make no sense. And it doesn't make sense for us to move him anywhere. It doesn't make sense for him to want to go any other where. So he's staying here. He's Canadian. He's in Canada. Let him stay here. And come on, Raptor fans, stop making up all these trades with him involved in them just because you want to get some new shiny toy player that's may not going to be an upgrade or better than him coming in. So that's the thing. Let's remember what we've already got and cherish it and relish it and be really thankful and happy because we've got time invested in him, in his development, and we need to pay the dividends from it because there are times in the games recently with Chris out there, his synergy with Fred, OG, and Pascal is really good because he has 4 years playing with them, y'all. We got to remember that a lot of our players haven't played together much, and that's one of our weaknesses is that the synergy is the time collected together. And Chris has a ton of time collected with the guys. So why would you fucking trade that away? It's like, let's see who's the most senior Raptors. Let's get rid of them at every time. No, keep you guys that have been around. Just because they've been around doesn't mean you need to get rid of them. So I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear any more people talking about trading Chris Boucher anymore. He's untouchable. I'm sorry. He's off the table. He's just like Pascal. He's off the market. He's not on the block. Nobody should be interested in Chris Boucher because we ain't moving him. And if they do and something happens, well, then I got to trust in Mascot and hope that it is the right move and that the player we're getting in return is going to be really good. But yeah, I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear any more Chris Boucher trade talk. Let's see. G saying Boucher becoming a villain is the least expected thing this year. Yeah. Isn't it cool? Like Boucher really is trying to take on that physical Rodman persona, like that weirdness, like the whole crouching at the free throw lane, the just like really being a physical pest. Like he's not shying away from contact like he used to. A big skinny guy like him that could be pushed around always shied away from getting any contact from other players. And he was more a finesse Bargnani kind of player. But now he's not. He's a grinder. He's locking guys up. He's getting his arms tangled up. He's leaning into them. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's using his physicality more and more as he's matured and gotten older. And even though he hasn't really filled out, he's still doing it. Like he has not filled out. He's still as skinny as ever. And I wish he could get a bit wider in the middle, but it's just not happening. It is what it is. But yeah, nobody would have bet that this was something that was going to develop this year, that Chris was going to become this at this point. I'm with you, G, on this. Paul B saying VanVleet was also like the 15th guy in summer league with 13 guaranteed roster spots already, right? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like when Fred came in at that point in time on our roster, it didn't look like there was a spot for him. And that's why I had predicted he was not going to be in the league for that long, was that he was going to come in, be this third point guard or something like that on our roster, not get a chance and just like go away. And that's what happens to so many guys. So many guys go to teams that get drafted. I mean, he wasn't even drafted and he did this. And it was interesting for him to talk about what happened and why he got in. He came in and he had a really good first day of training camp where him and Kyle went toe to toe and they scorched each other and everybody took notice. And then he had a shitty summer league, but then he still got his toe in the door and he just kept his toe in there and he kept going and he kept going. And then more and more started to develop for him. And it's amazing how it all opened up and the realm of possibility for him happened, because there were point guards ahead of him between him and Kyle Lowry at the time when he came to this team. And he had to move from the Malachi spot to the middle spot. And then eventually, then he started challenging to be in the starting lineup with Kyle. So there's all kinds of amazing things that Fred has done on his path that he was never, ever supposed to do. And he is a champion through and through. He's a champion at the G League level, and he's a champion at the regular NBA level also. And man, oh my gosh, that is really true, Paul. It is really important for people to understand just how close and how easy it would have been for Fred to fall out of the NBA right at the start of his NBA career. That there were no guarantees, and he made it a guarantee. And he bet on himself, and he made it happen. Because really, most players do not get what happened to him happen, for sure. Let's keep going. Monty Python, I was so impressed by Gary. He could have been selfish and went for 30, but he was more concerned about OG and Chris eating too. Yeah, that was an interesting development in the game. Of course, hyping the game yesterday, we're saying, well, Gary can go for DeMar's record of, beat his record tonight. But no, that wasn't a priority in the least. Like, they did not over try and feed him. It wasn't even that Chicago was trying to shut him down or anything. The Raptors just came out and played with the natural flow of the game, didn't try to force anything, like trying to feed Gary to get him to 30 points again last night. He just played naturally, and that was fine. And it wasn't a big deal or anything. It wasn't anything. The streak goes away, so what? He's tied with DeMar now. That's fine. It doesn't matter that he beat him or not. It's still a huge, major accomplishment to get 5 games in a row at 30 points like that. He's the youngest player in NBA history to do it. Like, if you see the list of names that have gotten 30-point games 5 in a row, they're all older. Like James Harden at 28, and he's the youngest guy to ever do this in the league. And if that says anything about his potential going forward in the years to come, like, it's amazing. But yeah, and once again, this wasn't even like you could tell it wasn't something he was thinking about or anybody gave a shit about. They just let it go, and they said, you know what matters? That's what matters. And they wanted to just do all the right things in the right moments to make sure that happened, and it didn't work out that Gary got 30 points. But that's fine. Even at halftime, when he only had like 12 points or something like that, or 13 points, I said, he's going to have to get 17 points in the second half to get it. I was like, he could do that. So I thought the threat of him doing it at any time was still there for the most part until late in the fourth quarter. Then I was like, yeah, he's not going to get it. But yeah, the threat of him doing it at any moment was still there. And it was really great that it didn't overwhelm the game, because it could have taken away from us possibly winning if we tried really hard to get that also. So, and the same thing is kind of stuff like with triple-double stuff with Pascal. If we're trying to set him up for an individual accolade, like by having him pass the ball over and over again to get enough assists, that's not the right way to play it. If he gets it naturally through the flow of what we're trying to do, then that's fine. And the same thing for Gary with the 30-point stuff. So, yeah, that was really impressive to me also. I'm glad you saw that too, Monty, because that was something that was possibly going to be a storyline last night. Yeah, winning is the most important for sure. It's not cliche. Winning. All right, let me keep going here. G saying, did you see Nick on the sidelines at the end of the game coaching a scheme to Gary, getting him open? That was the one where he got so wide open. They blew the coverage, and he just nailed it. He took his time. He hit it. That was a huge dagger. Really kind of put the game away at that moment. yeah, I didn't see Nick specifically in that part, but I definitely saw how wide open Gary got. It was really good. And the fact that they recognized and they got the ball to him and everything, they're just clicking really well and making super smart decisions in really quick split-second time because they don't have premeditated ideas about exactly what they're going to do on offense at this point. They really just got a protocol in their head of, well, this happens, I do this. If this happens, I do this. And part of it is also reading the defense and really seeing where they're positioned and how they're cheating or playing off of other players on our team is to open that up. Because a lot of that is the stuff like the post ups against the smaller guards where we're just dunking it and laying in with OG and guys and Precious and stuff when we're in transition, like recognizing that and getting that log pass from down court to a guy before they're even back on transition and they're making a lay-in with the little guy on their side. That kind of reading everything and being able to do that is amazing right now. Like, and we have so many different guys that can read stuff so well. Like Fred is an expert. Scottie's really good as a rookie of making good plays and reading stuff. He had that one pass he tried to make to Delano that had a little bit too much on it, went out of bounds. But for the most part, he's making sensational passes and plays. And then Pascal's in the first half last night, Pascal's passing was insane. He had so many quick assists in the beginning of the game, just setting up other guys because a double was coming to him, and he passed out of it the really, really smart ways, and other guys were finding huge success off his passes. And, man, it's just nasty to have so many different playmakers out there at the same time. It's just like the same thing. We have so many different rebounders, so many shot blockers, so many guys that are just nasty on defense, so many guys that can pass the ball, so many guys that can shoot. Everybody can do everything. It's just insane. That's why we're so badass, because we can all do everything. So, all right, let's keep going. Oh my God. And Precious, what a game too. Yeah, Precious is understated. He's not getting as much minute as the other guys, but he still does huge amounts of things. He was only out there for 18 minutes last night. He had 11 rebounds. He was our leading. Oh, well, no, Pascal had 13, but he was our second leading rebounder. And only 5 points. He didn't score a lot, but he did a lot of great stuff. He's active. He's scary to the other team. And, yeah, Precious I'm so excited about the development of those guys. Like him and Scottie are going to be something else in the next years to come. They're going to be, oh my gosh, there's going to be all kinds of new things that they're going to be doing over the years coming up, whether it's offensively and stuff like that. And once again, we saw Scottie do a Kawhi move right at the end of the game where he got right next to the basket in position. He was fighting against their biggest guy, Boucher, and he backed him right down, and he made a shot that they couldn't do jack shit about. That was a Kawhi Leonard move. Once again, that shot. And then he made the Magic Johnson over the shoulder shot. You saw that when he crossed the lane and he threw it up over his shoulder. That's a Magic Johnson move. I'm telling you, this man is like a jukebox for old NBA's old school players. You hit the right buttons, E3, and then you get Irvin Johnson in the lane over the shoulder layup. Or you get, boom, Dirk Nowitzki's jump step to the side jump shot. He's playing the old tunes on his old jukebox of the old players, and he's playing them through his body. And I love to see it. Like whether it's the baby hook at the beginning of the season against Boston. He did that against Boston. He did the homage of Magic doing the baby hook in the lane, and he made it. And last night it was the over-the-shoulder Magic lay-in, and it was so pretty. It was just like how Magic used to do it. It's so cool. It's like I was watching like a old video of like, holy shit, he just did a Magic move. It was so cool to see. I really love seeing those little things. They're like Easter eggs to me. Like people go to movies like Marvel movies and they want to look for Easter eggs. When I'm watching basketball games, I'm looking for Easter eggs. And Scottie Barnes is giving me some beautiful Easter eggs, some old school callback, throwback moves out there. And I love it. It's so much fun to see them. All right, let's keep going here. What else are you guys saying here? Tom Duke's saying Gary is Nick Nurse's new teacher's pet. Yeah, I think that Nick is just enamored with this whole entire team right now. Like I think he could be very proud of a lot of different guys on this team and the different things that they're doing at different levels and different things. Leadership by Fred, Pascal, just the way he's turning into more an all-around player. Gary with what he's been doing, Chris with his new role, he's got a lot to be proud of. And, I was really thinking about this last night because they did a whole homage to Wayne Embry last night because it's Black History Month, and they've been doing these like little video clips in between with honoring people, pioneers in the NBA, Black History Month. And when they talked about Wayne Embry and all the things that he went through, like being the only Black guy on his team in the beginning of his NBA career, and being the first ever African-American GM in the NBA in 1982 and stuff, it really made me realize, thinking about that and thinking about Jim Sand and that inside Jim one with him, that episode, it made me realize how much quality of personnel that we have throughout this whole entire team. That the fact that we have a senior advisor like Wayne Embry hanging around and advising us for not just recently. This guy's been around since the early 2000s. He's been around longer than Masai on the team, helping to guide the team behind the scenes. And guys just like Jim Sand, that, you watch that open gym, you'll understand what I'm talking about, the Jim Sand stuff. That this franchise is just built completely right because it really is the best people all around, whether it's the character of the players or just the people behind the scenes, or they're just winners, and they're the right people to be involved in the team. And that's the difference between the Raptors and a lot of other teams right now. It's just our personnel quality is absolutely top notch. So, and it shows. The product shows on the court. So let's see. Monty Python said breakout for Precious and Boucher alike. Yeah, they're like, honestly, these three guys I just talked about, well, now that Kem's back also, they're like Rodman, Sally kind of guys coming off the bench. Just really long dudes that rebound, are really good defensively and annoying, and they can block shots. They can do all kinds of stuff. They're really like Rodman and Sally kind of dudes. And I love it. Those kind of bench, long guys that can come out and disrupt things and get rebounds and just do really well. They're nasty. And the thing is, we got three of them. And Kem looked okay right away. He's weird with him wearing the mask. I knew he'd be wearing it and stuff. And you know what they said? His nose literally got caved in because of the injury. Like, it was deflated in, and they had to fix it so that it would look normal, because he was walking around with a flattened nose after what happened in that game against Detroit. That his nose was literally flattened, and he had to have plastic surgery to have it popped back out and look like a normal nose. But it was really nice to see him out there. And as soon as he got in, we saw him get an offensive rebound, a tip out, and just like did some really good defensive stops on them at the other end. He right away, he shows exactly what he does for us. And not to mention all the beautiful screens he sets and open shots he allows for our outside shooters when he's in there. But he didn't play a whole lot last night. He just got a little bit of time, just 5 minutes. But, we're going to see him more and more. And I don't know. I used to push and fight for him to be in the starting lineup, but I think I'm okay with the way they're doing things, especially if Nick Nurse will do the hook on Scottie if we are getting beat too bad by the big guy on the other team. So, then you bring in Kem right away just to stop the bleeding if a big guy's absolutely killing us. And once again, they keep putting Pascal at our center in the starting lineup graphic, but he's not. Scottie Barnes is our center. He continues to do the jump ball at the beginning of the game. The center is the one who jumps the ball. So get it right, Sportsnet. You got to write the C next to Scottie. Give him his due, because in some ways, if you start calling him our starting center but backup point guard, you're going to do him a service to probably get some votes for Rookie of the Year. Because if we start describing him as what he truly is, this is not out of bounds. He's a starting center backup point guard that he'll get more spotlight and more attention just because they'll say, whoa, he's their starting center, but he plays backup point guard. Then he'll get more attention and maybe garner some more votes just from that kind of like thing. So, all right, let me keep going with you guys. I got to get off track and I start talking. Monty's saying putting apples on Nick Nurse's desk and stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Gary's coming in early to class and he's buttering up the teacher with an apple. Yeah. Okay. I don't think Gary needs to do that. I think he's buttering up with all these beautiful high volume threes and shots and just getting our offense, keeping it going for sure. But that's funny. Svi was his teacher's pet at the beginning of the year. He was the one that he really was pushing and wanted him to be like super good for our rotation. Fortunately, it didn't work out the way Nick wanted to. And, we'll see what happens with these bench guys. They're really going to be chomping at the bit. And when they do finally get chances, they better be perfect, because they may not get another chance for the rest of the year. It's like they will get another chance, I'm sure, at least one. But there's no guarantees of anything for any of those guys who are not seeing any time. And that's fine. This is how NBA teams work. There are parts of your bench that don't get to play. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with Yuta and Svi and Malachi and those guys just sitting there for right now. When we need them, we'll get them. And they better be ready. That's how it works. So Paul B saying the Banton to Boucher alley-oop was awesome. I want to see that all the time. Yeah, that was a really nice little pass. And like Boucher just grabbed it with one hand and threw it down. Like he's so nasty around the rim last night. Like Boucher was throwing it down all kinds of different ways, whether it's like driving and laying it in, dunking in transition, dunking on guys just in a post next to the rim, alley-oop, everything. Boucher was all over the place last night offensively. I loved it. It was really good. G saying, yeah, that Boucher-Banton chemistry is great. It really is. It's the Canadian bees, man. Those Canadian killer bees off the bench, Banton, Birch, and Boucher. Look out for them. They're coming. Kenny, good morning. Those long minutes paying off. Chemistry on point. Now Nick is reducing starters' minutes gradually. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a good thing to notice there, Kenny. That, yeah, with these guys coming back, like Gary came back, and then now Kem's back, the minutes distribution maybe can go a little lower. Let me look at what they did last night, like as far as what they played. Pascal got 45 minutes, which is still quite a lot. 42 for Fred and OG, 40 for Gary, and 37 for Scottie. So that's not too crazy. But, yeah, some of these guys are getting a little bit lower minutes into the 30s finally, and it's good. It's good. It's going to be I think you're right. I think that over time this is going to trend more this way as he starts to trust more and more in guys like Justin, maybe you to finally get some minutes plugged in there. Delano gets more minutes just on top of his minutes already, stuff like that. So let's see what's going on here. Monty Python, Precious was clutch with the rebounds, cleaning up the glass, driving lanes, was a beast. Yeah. Precious, honestly, I'm excited about Scottie, and Scottie for sure. Really, really excited about Scottie. But it's really a close second that I'm very excited about the prospects of Precious also. The physical gifts are there. There's a lot of skill that he has that they're not giving him credit for, whether it's his shooting, whether it's his dribbling, and his ability to get up court. There's a lot of stuff there that can be refined and get honed and be even more powerful and better and efficient. And it's coming. It's coming. We're going to see it. We're going to see it. Sue, Scottie, once again, got the points for us to go into overtime. He's so poised for a rookie. He is not a normal rookie. And once again, like I said, advertise him as a starting center, backup point guard, but also advertise him as like, this is not a normal rookie. This is a veteran poised rookie. This is a rookie that's making plays and making passes and making shots that a 7-year vet would make. It's somebody who's already got time accrued on the NBA court, that a certain amount of time already would know that kind of stuff. That means that it's inherently in him, that he has it in him already. Download it into his PC system. He has all these patches and these tricks already. And that means he's starting from a nice higher floor to build off of to a higher ceiling. That's why I really believe that Scottie, if he is as hard a worker and he has the attention to detail and is able to learn, it seems like he's able to learn real fast. The sky is the limit. He could be the kind of player in this league that LeBron James has kind of been. Not like at that level for so long, I think, but why not? This guy could be the most dominant guy in the league very soon. And he's going to be one of the best players in the league in the next 10 years. We know this. The signs are all there. There's only a few things that can mess him up, God forbid. But I really believe this, that because his floor is so high already, that the ceiling for him and what's going to happen with him in the next couple of years is going to astound people. It's going to astound people how quickly he's going to be head and shoulders above the rest, because he's already able to do it in little bits. It's just when we really focus it and he really learns exactly what he's doing, it's going to get better and better. And he's already really good. That's the thing. We're already a good team, but we're going to get better and better. It's insane. It's the same thing with him. It's the same kind of thing. We're good, and we're not even that great yet. We're really good, but we could be great. And it's making the free throws, being more efficient, shooting better, not messing up on defense ever, all these kind of things. So we're going to get there. All right, let's see what else is going on. Carl Lotz, let's go. all right, my little brother's here again. He lives in Atlanta. He can give us the scouting report. What's the weather like in Atlanta today? I bet it's better than Toronto. But hey, who cares? The game's here in Toronto. But yeah, I love you, brother. I'm so glad and happy to see you again this morning. And you're saying overtime wins build character. Oh my gosh, my brother. Yes, you are so right. My brother's involved in coaching with my nephew. He coaches him in baseball. So he understands how to teach the young people how to get better in sports and do things the right way and stuff like that, and what character truly is. And I totally agree with you, Carl, that this team is getting tested against top Eastern Conference teams in the NBA right now, and they're finding success against the best of the best. And that is not a slouch thing to do. Most teams cannot do this, and especially repeat it a couple of times throughout this past week. I mean, Atlanta's no slouch either. We came to Atlanta and beat them on Monday, and now we've beaten Miami twice and Chicago last night. Oh my gosh. And now we see your team from your home city again tonight. Atlanta Hawks here in Toronto. Trae Young going to be playing tonight from what I hear. So we'll see. We would like to see him and see how he handles our defense tonight. Oh yeah, he got 43 against Phoenix last night. Well, let's see how many he can score on Toronto tonight. Oh yeah. I love Tom that you're saying hello to my brother, and happy Friday to all of them. My brother, everybody. Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Carl. All the best. Send my love to everybody in Atlanta right now. Kyle is in a Canadian Super Bowl ad, something about don't be Kyle and joking about him. Also, he did a nice shout out to Fred. Yeah, and Kyle's back, baby. He played last night for the Miami Heat in their game, and they won. And it's just really nice that he's back. And I really do think it's very interesting that his return coincided with the finish of the 3 games against Miami. Very, very interesting. But I won't doubt that he actually had an issue going on and stuff like that, and that hopefully everything's fine. But yeah, the love fest last night for Fred and his all-star berth was huge and immense. And I love what Fred said, like in the press conference. Kyle gave me the blueprint. And honestly, it's true. Kyle Lowry made Fred VanVleet in a way. Fred VanVleet, if he did not have that mentor in the very beginning of his career with the Raptors, he may not be where he is right now without Kyle Lowry. That Kyle Lowry guided him, took him under his wing, and helped push him and get him successful. He taught him everything. He didn't hold back. He taught him all of his secrets. And I thank you, Kyle Lowry. And I know Fred, from the deepest part of his heart, can never, ever repay you for being the mentor that you have been towards him. And I love all this. This is just such a love fest last night. Oh my gosh, I got emotional last night when Fred finally got it. I don't know about y'all, but I did. I got emotional about it. Monty Python, Alexi, you answer questions so well. You don't rush through and are thorough. Thank you for that. Yeah, well, listen, man, y'all are taking the time to talk to me and write all this stuff out and sit here and talk to me. I don't want to do it half-assed. I want to do it right. That's the way we do it here. And plus, I want to make sure I answer the question in a way that makes sense and that's good for everybody to understand. Whatever level of basketball expert you are, you may not know that much about the game, but you're safe to come and listen to me, because if you really have a question, I'll answer it. I'll answer basketball basics questions, but also if you have a certain level of expert insight and knowledge of the basketball game and how it's played and things like that, I can also say stuff that you will find fruitful and rewarding also at an advanced level too. So yeah, I really appreciate that compliment, Monty. But let's not waste anybody's time. We're going to take the time to do this right if we're doing it. Oh yeah. All right, Paul B. Yeah, sounds like a dunk of a live stream. Yeah, baby. It's going to be the Paul B. Raptor Freak Cult Dunks of the Year episode. Look out for it sometime, hopefully after we win the second Larry O.B. sometime in June. Yeah, Paul, we don't want to make this episode until the summertime, deep in the summer. Oh, yeah, because I will be starving to make some content in the middle of the off season, but I will still be doing this every day. It may be that I'll come on for 5 minutes and just say, yeah, this person got traded. How you feel? That's it. And then that's it. Or I may just go do a bunch of history lessons where we just talk about the history of the Raptors and different points and times. And maybe I'll tell dumb stories about my past and interactions with the Raptors and stuff like that. Like the time that I was on NBA Inside Stuff, y'all. I was actually on that show before it got canceled way back in the 2000s. I was on an episode of NBA Inside Stuff with Ahmad Rashad. Yeah. I'll have to tell y'all that story one day. All right, let's see. Tom Duke, collab with Paul B would be off the hook. Oh, yeah. Tom Duke's here. And now, you know what? Let's do the collab with Tom Duke, baby. My collaboration with Tom Duke is the real mascot matchup of the night. Oh, yeah. And we're seeing another team once again. It's the Hawk. And, the Hawk saw what we did to the Hawks' cousin on Monday, and was like, man, I ain't about to be gobbled up by a raptor like some popcorn chicken. I don't want that fate. So the Hawk thought he got smart, and he found a little young hawk. It was a young hawk, yeah, an ice cold hawk that knew how to really fly fast. And he was really quick, and like he was tearing up other people. Like he went and he like tore up the sun last night. Like it was crazy. It was Icarus, but he did not burn. He actually went up and poked the eyes of the sun out last night. It was insane. I couldn't believe that young hawk had such power and ability to do that. So the hawk was all feeling proud, kind of strutting around on the ground because it just poked the eyes of the sun out. That's insane. How does a hawk do that? And where are the eyes on the sun are? I guess ask a little kid. When they draw the sun, they put eyes on it, so they must know where the eyes of the sun are. But anyway, yeah, that hawk's feeling all proud, strutting around, that young ice cold young hawk. And the Raptor comes into the field. It's the same field that they were in yesterday, and they saw Ferdinand, and they gobbled him up like steak tartare. But now they see, ooh, there's some more popcorn chicken out here, but it looks like a little piece. I wonder if I can get him. And boy, that ice cold hawk, he started running when he saw the Raptor. He's running all over the place, and that Raptor was like, I'm going to give you OGitis. And he's chomping at him. He's running, he's scooting, he's trying to go every which way. He's trying to get away, and you know what? Eventually, he got caught. He got caught up into a bunch of arms, a bunch of raptor arms. I know that raptors probably have like little arms, but this raptor is a weird raptor. It has like really long wingspan. Like it has like a 7-foot wingspan for arms. Like just imagine a raptor with like super long arms. Well, that's this special case raptor that we have right now. And he basically grabs him with his long arm. He grabs the little ice cold young hawk and head right off. And that's it. That's it. That hawk, it just poked the eyes of the sun out, but it still got its head ripped off by the 7-foot wingspan raptor. Yeah, okay, there's your real mascot matchup for today. It's in the same locale. There have now been 2 brutalities in that field in the last 2 days. Yes, there you go, Tom Duke. It's not always pretty. We may need a maturity warning on this one. Only mature audiences for that. All right, keep going. All right. It's so stupid. All right, Gary Sr., DeMar, Drake, and son of the friendly fans, and the team so happy for Fred was very feel good. It was such a family atmosphere. It's a family affair. Oh my gosh, it was so nice to see the whole thing. Like Drake, DeMar, Gary Sr., Matt Devlin, Boogie Williams, the inflatable raptor bouncing up and down, thinking about eating the security lady. Yeah, all that stuff. And the fans in there, that was a really cool group of fans. They kept showing the fans. You could tell they were real ones. They were loud ones. They were all wearing decked out in Raptor gear, absolutely every single one of them. And such a nice cross-section of Raptor fans there. And I just love that they're there and their presence is there, because those games where there was absolutely nobody in there, they sucked. It was way too quiet in there, and they needed at least a little bit of the interaction. And one of the fun things about it is, and the players have said this, is because there's so few in there, you can hear everything that they're saying, apparently. So if you go to these Raptor games right now, if you're one of the lucky few, you will get heard by the players. Every single one of your conversations in the crowd are heard because there's so few people in there. So just imagine if it's like that. Everything that Drake is saying at half court is being heard everywhere. I'm sure people in the crowd can hear what Drake is saying when he's talking shit to the other team. Oh, yeah, I love it. I wish I could be at one of these games right now because I just want to feel this intimate feeling, this intimate setting of the Raptor games the way they are right now. It's so crazy. I know this is going to a lottery system to all the season ticket holders who've been screwed around, jerked around all season. This is a reward to them. Come and see a special game where you get to come and see limited capacity, a really special game in an intimate setting. That's a great gift to season ticket holders that have been loyal to the team for many years. I love that they did that for them. Excuse me. Sorry. That was coming. I knew it. All right, let's keep going. Monty Python saying, so true, man. Toronto misquotes, annoying misquotes. I'm not sure what that was about. Let me see. All right, I got to catch up. Y'all are always way ahead of me. Oh, Monique's here. I'm going to have to talk to her. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to really have to start talking fast. We're just at an hour or two. I knew this was going to be like this because, I mean, honestly, the game last night was amazing. We got another one tonight. There's a lot of excitement about the team right now. So I will get to your comments. I promise. I'm sorry I'm so behind right now. All right, I'm going to catch up right now. Okay, great wins. Darren saying great wins. Good morning, Darren. I'm glad you made it today. I know you've been missing the live streams, catching us later. I hope the weather's really good in Jakarta, my friend. And let's keep going, baby. Keep it rolling. Monty Python saying scrappy, energetic, annoying. Yes, all great descriptors for the Toronto Raptors 2022 team. Paul B, this flex offense looks great. Did they just start implementing it? Because we are all on fire and all the movement looks great. They've been doing it slowly but surely the whole season. It's really like, if you pay attention, Paul, when you see them getting across half court with the offense, they do a little weird, like, have you noticed they do a little pass where it's like they pass it right at the top? That's kind of the setup for it. And that's kind of the motion of the whole flex offense, is they do a pass and they cut across at the top of the key, and they usually get a screen for the person with the ball. And then it's like another one will come in the next place, and then another one will come in the next place. That's what it is. It's basically working to find an open shot by sloughing off your defender, by doing all these screens and cutting into the lane and then doing curls. Like when Gary does a curl where he dribbles around the guy and runs to the lane and does that little short mid-range, that's all a product of the flex offense. The flex offense is allowing the team to work towards the highest percentage shot. That's why you'll see, like, when they get into the lane, they may have a shot like right at the basket, like 5 feet away in front of it, but they may make a really quick pass underneath to a guy who's right next to the basket on the side of it. That's what the flex offense dictates, is that you go to the next action. And that's what Nick Nurse keeps saying. They're doing next action play, where they're looking for the next action. And it's really starting to flow real nice. And the product of it is allowing our offense not to look so stagnant and so like hard to score. They're actually really easy ways to find open looks when you do this flex offense. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's worked and proven by Australian championships by Trevor Gleeson. He's won 4 of the last 5 years in Australia, their world championship, with this offense. So it's proven to work. And I love seeing it with our guys. And because our guys are so versatile and equal in different ways, it doesn't matter who it's getting to or who's getting open. As soon as the defense makes the mistake, they're taking it, and they're all capable. So, man, I love that you asked that, Paul, because this is something that more and more is going to be more important as the season goes on. We're going to see more of the flex offense, and we're going to understand it more and be able to recognize it. But it really is that screening and passing, those quick passes across, and just passing over and over again as much as you can to get the right shot. All right, let's keep going. Darren's saying things looking more consistent. Hope we dump Goran for something good. 7 days till the trade deadline. Hope Masai and Bobby pull rabbit out of the hat. I think it's going to happen. I'm not sure what it's going to be. My dream player that we could get right now would be Jakob Poeltl. If we could get Jakob Poeltl right now and just lose Goran off of our books, this would be such a perfect addition to exactly what we need right now, because he's a rim protector. He's actually a true center. He's already got the synergy with our team. Let's get Poeltl back. Poeltl is the dude we need to get. This is the one I'm really high on, and I will push like crazy. Get Poeltl from the Spurs. If they're going to sell their team and try and be sellers at the trade deadline, and they're willing to let him come to Toronto, get him back here, because Poeltl is going to be the one that's going to make us even more deadly. Honestly, Darren, let's see. Darren's saying, yeah, okay, I just read the Darren stuff. Gee, wait until the Raptors shooting percentage goes up. Scary hours. These are things that we can just improve, and that will make us even more efficient, score more, and have more of a chance of winning. Yeah, we're not even shooting that well yet in a lot of ways. We start shooting really deadly, the teams aren't going to be able to beat us. It's going to be so scary. G is exactly right. Mind Python's saying, Boucher ain't going nowhere, bro. Watch. Can't trade him now. No, he's family. Listen, he's Canadian. He's in his right country. He doesn't want to go down there and learn the systems of the U.S. down there. Like, honestly, he doesn't want to go down there and be in all that. He's home. He's home. When they had the pandemic, he stayed here. He didn't go back to the States. He was in Toronto the whole time during the pandemic. When other players were back home in Philadelphia or Rockford, he was here in Toronto the whole time. This is home. So Chris doesn't want to go nowhere. Let him stay here. I don't want to talk about this too much anymore, because I feel like we're just beating over the head, but we'll see how it all develops. Hopefully nothing sad happens where he gets moved or anything like that. I really don't want to see it. Darren, need some rest. Have a good one, freaks. All right, man. Have a good night. I know it's almost 11 over there in Jakarta. 11 p.m. So all the best, Darren. As always, I appreciate you as being a regular viewer, man. Monty Python, especially if he keeps playing like this. Yeah, Chris shouldn't be moved. We're not going to get the right value for him back. That's part of it. His intangibles and things like that don't necessarily translate with the whole trade scenario. We'll lose if we trade him. It's the kind of thing where you like have something built up in him, and sometimes if you let it go, you don't always get something back in the right way from it. So I don't like the risk of that. So, Callie, good morning, everyone. My hair is getting grayer every game. Love that lineup with the Giants. So happy Chris got back in the game. Yeah, I could see that. Callie's stress meter was probably a little high near the end of the game there when the Bulls started to come back and they put us into overtime. It's a little stressful. But, really, Callie, if you ask yourself, much like you told me the other night with the Miami game, you weren't worried about them winning. You probably knew deep down inside that they were going to win, and that you weren't totally as stressed out as you possibly could have, because there was a feel to the game still that the Raptors were still pretty much in control, even though Chicago was threatening and doing different things like take the lead in little ways like that. But we would always come back and get a basket for sure. And then once again, they're being really smart at the end of the game by having a 2-possession lead. That's so important to have at least a 4-point lead. Because if you have a less than 4-point lead, that's a 1-possession lead, and that means they can come and mess you up at any minute. But you keep that 2-possession, 4-point cushion, then you're gravy. You're good shape. And they've been doing it to a T. They did it to Miami on Tuesday, and they did it again last night, where sometimes it was only 4 points ahead, but you feel comfortable about it just because it is a 4-point lead in a two-possession lead. So that's really important. But Callie, I'm sad to hear that your hair's graying. My hair went gray, and that's why it's all gone. I just don't want to even see it. So I just, it's all gone. All right, let's see. Mike Python. My brother said Gary Trent Jr. is so young and skilled. He'll start another 5 to 6 game scoring streak of 30. Yeah, I believe this too. Like, honestly, listen, if he really gets going, and like he's only 23, he's going to have these periods of time where I want to see where he scored, like his scoring average ends up. Like if he really becomes a focal point and he's consistently doing this kind of stuff throughout a whole entire season, this guy could be in the league leaders for scoring. He really could, because he's that kind of scorer mentality and that kind of high volume shooter in that kind of way. And yeah, I agree with your brother, man, that Gary Trent Jr. is just scratching the surface. And the fact that he's already doing this kind of stuff right away, like last year when he first came to the Raptors for the half season, he showed signs of this. And I was like, this dude's going to do big stuff for us scoring wise. And I said it in the preview at the beginning of the year. It's like Gary Trent Jr. is going to be one of our most important offensive players this year. And it really has. He's become even more and more so, especially recently. And I think we should expect more 30-point streak games like this in the future. And who knows? He's going to get a 40-point game. He's going to get a 50-point game at some point. When he has a game night where he's absolutely on fire and he's hitting his shots and he takes that many shots, he's going to get 50 points. He's just going to. It's just logic. So it's like, oh, man. Justin Danforth, good morning. Every morning here live, some point around 9 a.m., 10 a.m., doing Raptors talk about whatever's happening with the Raptors daily. Today, we're reacting to the great win over the Bulls in overtime last night, and we're previewing the game against Atlanta tonight here in Toronto. So please come join us every morning. We'll be here. Who got to trade one, OG or Pascal? Who you say? Who do we got to trade? One of those two guys? No, man. We don't trade either of them. And the reason why I don't like either of those two traded, because they're two of the guys with rings. And we want to keep as many of our guys that have rings on this team, because they're the ones that teach the young guys how we did it to get the rings. And both of those guys are pretty essential guys. Like, everybody's so quick to want to trade Pascal. You know, why? If we had traded Pascal a couple years ago, we wouldn't be reaping the benefits of what he's doing right now. And I think it's the same thing with OG. This is the thing. Our team isn't like a regular NBA team where it's a team and it's a business. Our team is a family. And we've kind of said it's a mafioso family sometimes this week, but I meant more that it's really a family, guys, when I said that. You guys thought I meant like Godfather. But no, I meant that we're a family. Like, we're a family. We're all brothers. We're all, Messiah's our dad. And, he's going to take care of us. And we don't want this impersonal kind of like, oh, anybody's expendable. We'll trade him at the whim of the fans or whoever wants to just trade him. No. So I'm not going to make that decision, Justin. And really, it's mainly because both of them are essential. and we can keep both of them. It's been proven. They want to both stay here and play here. They'll take money discounts to stay together. Watch, because they understand the value of this. Some things in this NBA are so stupid. When people just chase money, go ahead, but you're not going to be chasing rings in some ways if you chase money. It's either you chase rings or you chase money, but these guys are chasing rings. And they'll get paid on the side anyway. They're going to get paid in nice chunks. But it's really, I look at this in a totally different way than most fans. We are a family. I don't like talking about sending people away. So I don't want to answer that. I won't pick one of those two. They're both staying. Paul B. Yeah, Nick stood up and yelled for OG to go to the corner, and then VanVleet whipped it to Gary a second later. Yeah, there've been really good decision making at different times, like some unselfish passing, great opportunities to get it to the even more open shot. Just a lot of good stuff happening late in the game, good decision making and stuff like that. Paul B saying the 7th seed, 4 games over, 500 feels pretty nice with all the developing that's been happening too. Yeah, listen, we're on our way up, and I was looking at our upcoming schedule. Tonight's a tough game, and then we play Denver before the All-Star break, but all the other games before that, they're very winnable games. Like Charlotte on Monday. Oh, come on. Houston and Oklahoma City on the road. And I think the other games against New Orleans. These are all very winnable games leading up to the All-Star break. And we just played the hardest part, and we're on a 4-game win streak. So we win tonight, I feel really good about us next week. So we could get like a really nasty win streak before the All-Star break. And really the test will be tonight with Trey being back and Jokic in Denver in that game before the All-Star break. Those 2 games before the All-Star break. But the other ones are really good games for us that we should win. And that'll mean collecting way more wins. Hopefully, maybe we even jump over Brooklyn before the All-Star break, because they are in a free fall, y'all. They're on a West Coast trip right now. They've lost like 6 straight games. They're bound to play Utah again tonight. And Utah's probably going to kick their ass. Because, listen, Harden's hurt. He's not playing that great. He's kind of playing loafing. And Irving can't play in most of their games because, like, he can't play at home for them, and he can't play at any arena like ours where they have protocols against unvaccinated players. So I don't understand. Like, Nets are in big trouble. They need Durant back. And I've heard that Durant will not be back before the All-Star break for sure. So that means pretty much all these games right before the All-Star break, they're probably going to lose. So if they lose, we're like 2.5 games behind them or something like that. They lose a couple more games, we win a couple more games. All of a sudden, we're in the top 6 and they're in the play-in bracket. So, and that's what it's looking like right now. The Nets are going to fall out of the top 6, and we're going to take their spot. I love it. I love it so much. My Python saying hello to Callie. Jonas, good morning, Jonas V. We love you here, my Lithuanian cousin. Boucher balled out for us. Yes, Boucher balling out all kinds of different ways. Just love seeing his energy, spend it all over the place. He's not leaving any gas in a tank. He's putting it all on the floor, and he's doing really well all kinds of different ways. G saying positionless ball is fun to watch. It's really fun to watch, but I bet it's hard to play against. You don't like these switches. It's like these offensive players on other teams like Levine and DeRozan last night, they're like, all right, we'll make a switch. And usually when they get a switch, they get a mismatch they can work with. But no, when we switch on them, they're like, okay, you just went from Gary Trent Jr. to OG Anunoby. Like, yeah, it doesn't get any easier who you switch off to. And it's not like you're going to find that mismatch like we are at the other end on your short guards. And it's fun because they were going at DeMar. They were trying to post him. OG was posting him and having a lot of success just scoring on him in the low post. And we do that to small guards. Anybody who's under 6'5" or 6'6" and under, you're going to get posted, and we're going to probably get a dunk on you just because of that mismatch and how we're reading it and getting the ball to those guys down low. OG specifically. Like, we're seeing OG playing bully ball. We've been talking about bully ball this week. We are a bully, and we are playing bully ball. It's fully out there, and I will admit it. I'm not hiding that. We are a bully team. Yeah, we're going to bully you right to a victory for us. Oh, yeah. I love it. All right, let's keep going. Paul B. Scottie pushing Vucevic and scoring the eventual game-winning basket was clutch. Scottie was so clutch. That's what I'm saying. I even said this like in the last couple of days. Scottie, just something about him tells me that he's clutch, that there is DNA in him that is clutch DNA, and we're seeing it fruition on the court, whether it's making that tip in to put it into overtime or making that bold move in the lane against Vucevic, a bigger guy, and making that shot like Kawhi would. That is a Kawhi Leonard move. And now I just heard Kawhi's not going to play this year. They said this morning that Kawhi is going to sit out this entire year. So the Clippers are not expecting him back this year. I don't understand what's happened with Kawhi since he left us. I just feel sorry for the guy that he made such a dumb mistake. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. Vooch kept cheap pushing Barnes, but Barnes had the last laugh. Do you guys remember that one play? I don't remember if it was in this game or the last game with Miami. There was a play where Barnes had his back to the basket, and he's right next to the side of it. And he put it up over his back, and he got pushed at the same time, and he landed on his ass, but he made that shot. It was like it was part of what we've been talking about this week about playing through contact. And Nick Nurse has said it himself in some of the press conferences this week that he wants his players to learn to play through contact and make the shot no matter what, even if guys are hitting them or holding their arm or doing things like that. That is part of what Scottie doing that when Vucevic or whoever it was pushed him in the back when he made that back lay in like that. You know the one I'm talking about. He was facing the camera the way the camera was shooting at him. That is good. Making the basket through contact kind of stuff. And that's what we see OG do all the time. But there's other guys that could do it better, like Precious. Scottie could do it better too at times. People like Chris, those kind of people finishing through the contact, and they're doing it. And yeah, Vooch, everybody's being dirty out there, and we can expect the other team to be dirty to us because we're dirty. We're dirty as hell against them, and they're going to be doing dirty against us back. But I love it, and this Kane Fitzgerald ref, he's really doing a good job recently. We've had him twice in the last week, and he's been super fair to us, super, super fair. And there's been times in the game where it's kind of been iffy and could go either way. I've been really happy with the refs this week. We haven't had much ref manipulation where I would get super pissed off that they've been unfair. And that Kane Fitzgerald guy, I've kind of got some trust in him right now as a ref, which is good. Let's see. Don Bailey, good morning. We're here every morning. I hope you'll join us again. Let's just call Freddie Logo. I love that. I love that new nickname, Freddie Logo. Jerry West is the logo. Maybe Fred should be the new NBA logo eventually. Freddie Logo. We're calling him Freddie Logo. We get him associated with the logo on the middle of the court enough. Maybe they'll start thinking, we're going to change the logo of the NBA. Maybe we can make it Fred's silhouette, and he'll be Freddie Logo because he's the logo of the NBA. But it'll probably end up being Michael. It should, honestly. If they're going to switch the Jerry West logo for the NBA, it should be the iconic Michael Jordan hanging in the air dunk logo. That should be the one. Something with Michael. It can't be the exact Jumpman one, but it should be Michael Jordan on the NBA logo. If they're going to change the player at this point. There's been a little bit of talk about that. Paul B. And Scottie near the basket, ready for the tip-ins and rebounds is a good look. I trust him. Even the Cleveland loss, you knew he was going to make it up for it and learn. That's that learning lesson I was alluding to earlier. That Cleveland game where we were winning the whole game earlier this season, and Cleveland came back and beat us in the last second by 1 point. Well, the play that we had at the other end that was just a split second too late was that Scottie putback, very similar to the one last night, that he was just a little bit too late. And maybe he learned that it's like, I got to go sooner. But in that situation with the Cleveland game, if I remember correctly, the problem was that our offensive player that was trying to shoot, I think it was Fred, took too long with the ball to shoot the shot to allow for a possibility of an offensive putback, that he ate up too much of the clock, that there wasn't enough seconds for even a chance of an offensive putback. And maybe that was the adjustment was that these guys that are shooting the shot before the tip-in, like Fred last night, that missed the runner in the lane, he shot it early enough so that the tip-in could happen within the regulation time. And that's the difference. So maybe in a way that was Scottie not doing anything differently, but Fred setting up the shot before that he missed differently because he shot it early enough for him to be able to have enough time to put it back. So, yeah, I think that's part of it right there. Mark Anderson, good morning. Good to see all the new names here today. Until the Raptors get top 5 superstar like Kawhi, they will never win a chip. Oh, my gosh, Mark, you're exactly the kind of person I love to show up here because I'm going to put you in your place real quick, bro. You have fallen for the fallacy of the LeBron James era of the superstar NBA. That is dead, brother. The last couple of championships have shown the way. They may have got that cheap one in the bubble, but Milwaukee and Toronto are the last two team champions. And it's a team game that wins the NBA. And if all of your guys are working in syncopation together, synchronized around the court and on defense, that team concept's going to beat these superstar mentality teams that you're describing that you think we need every single fucking time. Like, you go get all your fucking superstars you want, brother. But as soon as they get hurt and they can't fucking play, or they pull some bullshit like James Harden or Kyrie Irving, yeah, you figure it out then. Our team's going to beat those teams because a team concept, a team defense, and a team way of playing is going to beat a superstar team every fucking time. We do not need another player. We have the superstar already. His name is Scottie Barnes. He's on this team. He's going to develop over the next couple of years. And you're going to realize that what you said is so full of shit and wrong that we're going to get so many more Larry O'Brien trophies this year. Not this year, in this decade, that we're going to be the San Antonio Spurs of the 2020s. That we have just started our dynasty. 2019 was the first one, and we're going to get 4 more in the next 15 years, just like the Spurs did from 1999. You're going to eat your words, Mark, and you're going to find out how folly your statement was. We are going to win a chip way sooner than you think, and we're not even going to have to get much more of a player. We're going to get role players. We're going to get a center, and we're going to get some scorers off the bench, and we're going to do it with this core that we have right now. You mark my words, buddy. And if you want to reply to me, you go ahead and you see what I'll say to that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, your mentality is the Raptor fan mentality that I hate. And you're fucking wrong, bro. We're going to get another championship with the core that we have right now, and we don't need another superstar. We do not. We have superstars within this team that are growing, whether it's Precious, whether it's Scottie, whether it's the continued growth of Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. These guys are hitting higher levels of clutch and veteran leadership that we don't need. We're growing it inside. And it's the other teams in the league that look outside and say, oh, we need this, we need this. No, we're growing in-house, and we do it our way. And that's why we are successful compared to other teams, because they're all coming from a place of need. We need this, we need that. Well, we don't need that because we grow it and we make it from nothing. We make it from nothing, from undrafted players like Fred VanVleet to players like Justin Champagnie coming in here, like all of a sudden choosing to play for our team. Could have chose any of these teams in his league. He chose the Raptors because he understands. So, yeah, man, I don't like your comment. I think it's full of shit. And if you're going to write stuff like that in here, you better realize that I'm gonna reply to it exactly how I just did. All right. Monique, good morning. Raptors super fan Monique is here. Go Raptors. What a time. Oh, yes. Monique, how sweet it is. There's never, we've been through the hard times, the good times, the bad times. And when the times are like this, so good. So good. I am with you, Monique. It's such a great time. Gee, or they could develop a Kawhi. Barnes is already ahead of where Kawhi is as a rookie. Gee, just answering things for me right here. Exactly. Gee, trust me, he ain't close to Kawhi. What the fuck are you talking about, Mark Anderson? You fucking dumb motherfucker. You didn't see what Scottie Barnes did at the end of the game last night, where he pulled right up into fucking Vucevic's mug and fucking put the basket right in front of him, where he couldn't fucking do anything in a crunch moment within 2 minutes left in the game? Are you fucking blind, Mark Anderson? Are you not watching the same game that we are? Scottie Barnes is way better rookie than Kawhi Leonard ever was. Kawhi couldn't shoot in his rookie year. He came off the bench. He was a role player on a championship team that was with Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili, and he was not doing the same fucking shit that Scottie Barnes is doing in his rookie year right now. In fact, I don't even think he was starting when he was a rookie. So listen, Mark Anderson, your basis of information and what your knowledge has come from is completely a dumbass, man. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. G is exactly right. Scottie Barnes is another Kawhi Leonard coming up here. He has the same fucking giant hands as Kawhi Leonard. He can steal the ball and strip it just as like Kawhi Leonard. He can go to the basket and fucking score next to the basket over Vucevic like Kawhi Leonard. So shut the fuck up. You don't know who Scottie Barnes is, and you're going to find out more and more. I want to know what team you root for, motherfucker, because you ain't no fucking Raptors fan. I can tell just from your stupid shit you're saying here. And I'm glad G's putting you in your place because he's right. Barnes, homegrown, Kawhi, better. Monty's backing it up here. Scottie will be better than Kawhi. Thank you. He's a better passer. He's a better team player. He's a better personality than Kawhi. First of all, right there, he's going to beat Kawhi in his career just because he has a more personable attitude. He's more with his team than Kawhi ever was. So you're going to see a difference in the next couple of years, motherfucker. You're going to find out real quick who Scottie Barnes is. Oh, yeah, you will. Oh, yeah, you will. All right, let me see what he's saying. He's saying he's a Raptors fan, but Raptors with Mobley would be nasty. No, we picked the right fucking one. Mobley wasn't available when we got the draft anyway. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. It happened the way it's fucking supposed to. Cleveland's got Mobley. Yeah, Mobley's a great rookie. But, dude, you're not a Raptors fan. You're fucking one of these fair weather motherfuckers that puts down the team when they're not doing well. And even when they're doing well, you're bringing bullshit like this, talking about Scottie Barnes and Kawhi, this shit. Fuck you, man. I don't want you here in this stream. You can fuck off right now, Mark Anderson. You really can. You are not welcome here. And if you haven't left by the end of this, I'm blocking your ass, motherfucker. You're going to find out because we don't have a place here for this. This is a positive Raptor space where we bring up the team. And we don't talk your bullshit that they won't win a championship like this or that Scottie Barnes isn't the next Kawhi Leonard. Fuck you. You can go on down the street. You are exactly the Raptor fan that I made this channel for to exclude, motherfucker. You're going to get blocked. Oh, yeah. You coming up. All right, let's see. Gee, did you know Kawhi is a rookie? Worst shooter. See, he's just backing up everything I just fucking said. And I wouldn't trade Barnes for Mobley either. Monty is exactly right. Don Bailey, thank you for your compliment. I'm here every morning. I'm sorry I'm getting crazy right now. But seriously, I hate this kind of shit. All right, Mark Anderson's now saying, nobody on Raptors will never be better than two-time champion and two finals MVP. Motherfucker, you are limited in your mindset. If Fred VanVleet had your mindset, he'd be working at Safeway, packing groceries right now. You limit your own fucking head, Mark Anderson. We ain't about that. We are an abundance, unlimited mindset. And we are bringing Larry O'B's back here. When we get the third fucking Larry O'B in Toronto in the next 10 years, you're going to fucking eat your words and you're going to realize you were fucking wrong. That we are going to get multiple championships and that Kawhi Leonard will be happy footnote for the first one. And the rest of them will be earned by the guys who stuck around, who stayed here and did the fucking work. And you're going to find out real quick, Mark Anderson, in the next 5-6 years, you're going to see this shit and you're going to realize how stupid you sound right now. All right, let's keep going. All right. Paul B saying, I wanted Mobley bad. Wish Masai had traded up to guarantee we get that center. They always wanted. Sky's just as good, though. This is the thing. Sky is actually a center. So we got a center. It's so crazy that we actually did get a center. But then we got a backup point guard, too. There's so many different things Scottie is. Scottie is not a one-trick pony. He has so much to him. And I don't understand this guy. You don't see that Magic Johnson laying over his head. You don't see the boxing out. You don't see the defense. You don't see the full court press by a 6'9", 7-foot wingspan motherfucker up the court. What the fuck are you watching? Kawhi Leonard never did full court press kind of shit. So come on, man. You got no fucking basis for anything, man. Honestly, I'm doing it right now. Fuck this shit. This person is out, bro. You are out, bro. All right, let's see. Keep going. All right. Justin Danforth. We need a center real bad. Who would you trade besides Freddie, Barnes, or Gary? I don't know if we necessarily need a center real bad because really, honestly, like we have a lot of good length. If we get a backup center somehow, some way, like I keep saying Pirtle, that'd be great. Because honestly, we may need something against guys like Jokic, Vucevic, and Embiid in the playoffs. So I think you're right, just to a degree, but maybe just kind of more for defensive situational purposes than being like regularly like a starter or somebody who's really super important to the rotation. Maybe just somebody that comes in to stop the bleeding if we do have a big guy kind of like going off on us all of a sudden. Like we might have needed that last night against Vucevic. So, all right, let's see. All right, we're just going to skip all that malarkey. All right, Monique saying, headband Chris is definitely a thing now, too, a statement game. Yeah, it is a thing. He's wearing it, and it's weird because it's not a normal headband. It's almost like he's got what Daniel's son would wear in The Karate Kid on his head now. He's like, is he tying this thing up in the back, in the mirror, like he's like getting ready to go fight Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport or something? Like, what's going on with Chris in his headband? I'm all for it, man, because he's playing really good so far with it all. So keep going, Chris. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it, man. Yeah, listen, I'm just going to ignore that guy. He's saying he's a Raptors fan, but he's not. And I was waiting for these fucking stupid ass trolls to fucking show up so I could fucking cuss them out. Yeah, you're an idiot, bro. All right, Paul B. We got to game 7 of the second round with no Siakam production. This spicy P production, the rest of the team playing like this can beat anyone in a 7-game series. We just out hustle the enemy. We out hustle, we outwork, we out rebound, we out everything on the other team. And that's the thing. That's why they don't like playing us. NBA teams want a night off against an easy team sometimes, but that's the opposite when they play the Raptors. They know they got to give a completely good effort. And they don't like playing us. They really don't. They're complaining, and I love it. I love it. G saying, so what? So what? Hey, a first round exit rookie Giannis Bucks 8 years is called process. I don't know. I don't. I'm going to skip this kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. He's talking. Whatever he's saying is stupid. They're scared of us. That's why they've seen the real of us. They're going to come in here and try and talk shit. But they're going to realize that this team's for real, and they're going to fuck every team up. Like we swept the Bucks this year. Fuck off, Bucks fan. You're so stupid. Okay, Giannis averaged 7 points his rookie year and took 3 years to get to 20. But you think Scottie can't get there? Stop this. Yeah, they don't have any idea where we're starting from and where we're going to. Like, seriously, he started way above where he's supposed to be. Like, honestly, I didn't think he was going to average over 10 points this year. And he's averaging right around 15. So he's way beyond the schedule I even envisioned for him. And I'm super optimistic. And he's doing way more than I thought he would be doing this season for us. Because, like, honestly, I thought he'd be coming off the bench and he'd be a good role player off the bench, not a complete starter who's playing exactly the amount of minutes that our established vets are already playing and doing all the same shit as them. So it's very, very different. Monique says that she loves the bromance between Kyle and Fred. Oh, yeah. That's something that's family. That's always for life. And same with DeMar. DeMar is the same. They're all family. Like, that's a tight unit. Can you imagine the cool card games that may go on between Drake, Kyle, DeMar, and Fred, and Norman, people like that? They all get together and they sit in a room and they just play cards and reminisce about old memories playing together and stuff like that. Oh, man. To be a fly on the wall at a poker game with those guys sitting around the table would be amazing. Sue, agree. Overtime experience is great for our guys. The Bulls hadn't had an overtime period all season, and we have now had 4. So great experience that some other teams don't have. We look calm in OT. It's weird. This year, I was wondering about that. That really astounded me that the Bulls hadn't had an overtime game yet this year. And I think it's just a testament to how the refs are doing things this year. They're really being tight and concise. And I don't think they're encouraging games to get into overtime in some ways. But our games have been so cutthroat, so playoff-like, and so close that they've been going into overtime recently. And that may be something that is the factor, is that our games are so competitive. That's why they're going into overtime, whereas most games in the NBA this year are not going into overtime because they're not finding that same kind of equality in competitiveness between the two teams facing each other. Usually there's one team that's going to just take over at the end and make sure that they win. But now if you have two teams that are going bam, 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 then you get these overtime games, and it's fun. It's really fun, and it is super good experience too. Like, this is so valuable for Scottie and the rookies, and also like for our vet leaders, like to have this kind of success and see what's working and like try and repeat it. That's the thing. You get success, you want to see how it worked and repeat it in different scenarios for sure. Paul B saying, I commented on your stream from yesterday about Fred. I'm not crying. You are. Felt so great for Fred. My favorite player on the team. I loved him since he was DeLon's main competition. Yeah, man, Fred, I didn't believe in him. I hate that. I wish I had. But you know what? When I met him and I got to talk to him personally and tell him that I believed in him then and that Toronto loves him, that's so much right there. Like, honestly, I'm so lucky that I've gotten to meet Fred VanVleet, Masai Ujiri, and personally tell them things like thank you. Like I said to Masai Ujiri when I met him, I said, thank you for making the Raptors into a contender and to become a real NBA team. Because he really head and shoulders was the main reason. And then telling Fred, like, Toronto loves you, keep shooting. We love you no matter what. And he's done that. And that was in 2018. I told him that. And look at what he's done since 2018. He's just taken off. Oh, my gosh. Tom Duke liked the Mascot matchup today. Yeah, it was a little bit of a rerun of a couple of ones that we've had this week. But I thought I'd give us a new little Hawk character today, the ice cold Hawk. Oh man. All right. These, if you're talking up the Bucks, man, we own y'all this year. I'm sorry. We own the Bucks. We've always owned the Bucks. We've owned the Bucks in the playoffs on our way to a championship. Y'all didn't have to face us last year when you got your championship. And you know what? If you probably should be glad, because if we had been the real Raptors last year, we might have beat you in the playoffs. Seriously. If we had been the real Raptors team and not all fucked up in Tampa and on COVID and shit. So yeah, listen, until Bucks do something different, we still own y'all. I don't care if you're the defending champions. The Raptors own the Bucks in the playoffs. Every time y'all played us in the playoffs, we beat y'all. And we beat y'all every single time we played y'all in the regular season this year. So the Bucks don't have a leg to stand on right now talking shit towards us, even if y'all are the defending champs. I don't give a shit because you didn't go through us to get it, and you didn't prove you can yet. So we'll see what happens in the playoffs this year, motherfucker. Oh, yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. Woo! All right, let's keep going. All right. Yeah, we're not scared of the Bucks. The Bucks are stupid. All right, let me keep going. Man, you guys got so much on here. I didn't realize that guy was talking so much trash at that point. Family's saying Bucks are so scared of Toronto. It's unbelievable. All we do is put them down. I can't remember when they ever beat us in the playoffs. Oh, yeah, it never happened. See, exactly what I just said. Family's saying the same thing. This is true. The Bucks are a great team. Giannis is probably the best player in the league. I will say that. But that doesn't mean y'all are going to beat the Raptors, because the Raptors are a special case. We got special unlockables and synergies that happen because of our positionless and our size that the NBA hasn't figured out how to reckon with yet. Y'all haven't solved the Raptors yet. Nobody in this league solved us, and they're not going to solve us quickly because it's going to take movements in your roster and getting the right personnel to be able to deal with the Raptors now. And y'all are behind the curve. The Raptors are ahead, and we're going to show it more and more as we're going forward now. You are seeing it right now with what we're doing to Miami and Chicago this week. And you will see more of it to your local home team when we come to your town. So, yeah, let's go, baby. Bring the Bucks. I want to play the Bucks in the playoffs. You'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll spot you 2 games, and then we'll fucking run 4 on you in a week. Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. Nick Nurse out coaching everyone. I have to agree with this, Monique. The fact that he's doing crazy stagger cascade, like line up at the half court, or just that and brilliant pass that Scottie made to OG to get that basket late in the game, in the last game, he is making really great play calls. He's making the right strategies at the right times, whether it's switching the defense from man to zone at different times, whether it's like just making little nuance, like yelling from the side of the court to tell guys to get to spots. He is coaching his ass off right now. And Nick Nurse is a badass right now. And honestly, part of it is his staff is so strong right now. Earl Watson, you brought him up so many times, Monique. It is true. Earl Watson, Jim Sand, Nate Bjorngren, Adrian Griffin, Trevor Gleason. These guys are fucking the creme de la creme of coaching staffs right now. And it's showing on the court because our team is so well prepared and they're executing so well right now. And that is the evidence of a good coaching staff, that they have their team prepared. And I love it. I'm so for it. Let's keep going. Buck or Nick Nurse, that's why we win. Yeah, I mean, listen. Bobby Portis did us a solid that one game we played against y'all. You know, he shouldn't have gotten Pascal's face. He shouldn't have been trying to intimidate us and be a bully, because you see what happens. The bully gets pushed back, and then we fuck y'all up. And that's what happened. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, let's keep going. You guys are talking about Nurse still. All right. Family's talking to Mark Anderson. He's not too smart. He thinks his opinions actually matter. All he's speaking is on opinions, no facts. I think the family is making a good discernation here that this guy's talking from his own opinion. He's not really based in reality. He may not totally understand how the NBA or basketball actually works. It may be that he's just enjoyed watching the NBA recently, and he's like, oh, well, then this makes this sense. Fuck you, motherfucker. You don't know. Did you go to basketball school? Did you study books as a child? Did you read coaching stuff? Have you watched the NBA for 40 years? No, motherfucker, you probably haven't. So you don't know what you're talking about. You are not qualified. And I'm not saying that I'm super qualified either, but I do know a thing or two. And I do have a lot of experience around the game of basketball in different ways, whether it's coaching, playing, being at the arena, watching NBA games with the Raptors since fucking the 90s. working for the Raptors for a while, being around the team, shit like that. I mean, all right, there is some basis of knowledge from where I'm coming from, but I have no idea where you're coming from, brother. And it doesn't sound very sound where your position comes from. And I think most of us here are poking holes right through your bullshit. So Paul B, they waited till Dragic was out of the room to implement the flex offense, I guess. No, actually, they were doing it at the beginning. I'm telling y'all, it really is this weird screen at the top of the key. Every time they do that, that's the initiation of the flex offense, is whenever there's two players at the top of the key and they do kind of like a crisscross, whether they hand the ball off or not or do a fake, that's still the flex offense. And that's it getting commencing, is when you see the two players come together like that at the top. Monique saying, keep putting the league on, guys. It's beautiful. Yeah. Monty Python saying Pirtle or Bamba. I'm okay with Bamba also. They're both good fits for the Raptors, I think. And, that's the kind of the level we need. People are saying, well, we need another superstar. We need another superstar. No, we don't necessarily need another superstar. We've got superstars. We need more role players. We need a better scorers off the bench, and we need possibly a big guy who can protect the rim and guard the biggest guys in the league. Those are the two big concerns that I have right now for the Raptors. Monty Python saying kind of what I'm saying right here, the ability to defend and stretch. So mobile would be perfect. Both of those guys. Yeah, if they could just do some stuff against Jokic and Embiid, people like that. Somebody can just get the body on them. Monty's saying shooting and rebounding over Embiid like he wasn't even there. Okay. Paul B, laugh out loud. I almost forgot we were playing Atlanta until you say they, Lex. I'm still imagining everything that happened last night. I know this stuff's happened so fast, Paul. You know what? Let me just give you a real quick injury report for Atlanta tonight. John Collins got hurt in the game last night against the Phoenix Suns. He is day-to-day. He is probable right now at this point. And then Lou Williams is out right now. Lou Williams did play against us on Monday when we played the Hawks, but he didn't play yesterday, and I think he might be out again tonight. So we may not expect to see Lou Will off the bench for them. And John Collins is possibly a scratch for tonight just because of the injury suffered by him last night. But Trey will be there tonight. That'll be the big difference between Monday and tonight, and he's going to really give us a handful. But once again, this is the kind of guy we want to see our defense get tested against, that we want to see how it handles them. And I think we're going to have success no matter what, just because our wingspan is so long of 5 different places around the court that he's just really going to be hitting these fidget spinners of defensive players all over the place, trying to knock the ball out of his hands and deflecting it. He's not going to be able to operate as easily or happily as he wants to. And the other thing we really need to make sure we do with Atlanta, and this is how they beat Phoenix last night, is they beat them with 3-point shooting. They went crazy with their 3-point shooting last night. It was the same guy, Herder. Herder was nailing them again last night. So we really got to watch Herder because he hurt us on Monday. And Bogdanovich off the bench, their 3-point shooters are really going off, and they did last night. And that was a big key to how they ended the Phoenix win streak, is the 3-point shooting. So really key on their 3-point shooters and make sure they don't get any good looks like we did on Monday. We did this really successfully, limiting their 3-point shots or getting clean looks or just making as many. I think we made more than they did on Monday. So if we can make more 3-pointers than Atlanta tonight, we should win. And a lot of that's going to be containing Trey and watching out for those other guys like Herder and Bogdanovich. Those guys can really hurt us. Like Herder has really been nasty this week. Like we need to really watch out for that kid because he really torched us on Monday. He really hurt us for a while there. So yeah, there's a little bit of the injury and like scouting for tonight. Once again, get out to the big lead for the Raptors. Have them coming back on us instead of us trying to come back on them later on in the game, which we are capable of doing, coming from behind kind of games. But I always love us being ahead and having the lead and dictating the game that way. That way, Callie and I's hair is not getting any grayer. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, let's keep going. Monique saying, did you guys notice with Drake in the arena we're winning all of a sudden? I don't know if that coincides with it, but I mean, yeah, he does help. Like, seriously, he's out there talking trash. He's talking to Jimmy the other night. He's talking to DeMar last night. He is involved in the game. And if we don't have a full crowd in there, I'm glad Drake's sitting there because in some ways he is distracting to the other team. The young players on other teams are in awe of him. Like even these stupid announcers for Chicago last night were talking about how they approached Drake last night because there's not as many people in the arena. They felt comfortable to come up to him. And these two jabronis, they came up to him and said the exact same thing one after another to him. And he probably thought they were idiots. But yeah, even the announcers for Chicago are fanboying and goo-goo-eye over Drake. So there is a factor with having him out there that he is distracting and that he may make some guys a little less confident just because he's there and they're feeling a little starstruck. Like some of those young kids, like that Io kid, you think he was freaking out that Drake is sitting at half court watching the game with him there? Maybe just a little. He might have been like, oh, I got to look pretty good because Drake's watching me kind of shit. But yeah, Monique, I think that his factor is a little understated. People may not give him credit for him, just his presence being there. I think it's true because he hasn't shown up for many games this year. He did early in the season, but he hasn't for a long time until just recently, for sure. That's a good observation. G saying championship DNA is valuable. Yes, that's exactly why these four guys are untouchable in my mind. I really have different groups, like the original four, the four vets that are championship guys, Fred, OG, Pascal, and Chris. Do not move them. And then the Canadian guys, they're untouchable also. Chris, once again, that's double down on Chris why he shouldn't be moved. Kem Birch and Delano Banton. Those three guys shouldn't be moved either because they're at home and I want more Canadians on this team and they're great fits. So Monique saying, I definitely enjoyed the post-game interview with Fred and Amy. I didn't get to see the interview on the court with those two last night, unfortunately, because I was watching the Chicago feed. And, of course, they're just going to cut and say we lost, and they're sad. I wish I had seen that, but I did see Fred's presser afterwards, and he's just such a man of poise, such a pro, and just really the things he's saying, he's so open about things too. Like the whole story about him being at the hotel downtown when he was trying to make the team and praying every night just to make the team, it just really shows how full circle he's came from, that he had nothing given to him, that he has completely earned every single thing that he's gotten to this point. And that may be the difference between some of these superstars that people think we should go get, is they've been having everything given to them. But we have guys that earned their stuff. They went out and got it and took it because they weren't supposed to. And Fred is the epitome of that. He is the epitome of that. Oh, yeah. Yards. Fred VanVleet. Oh, yeah, baby. Woo! All right, let's see. Paul B saying, I'm enjoying this whole rant. Scottie over quiet. Listen. I haven't had to get like this, but I will. I'm a wrestling fan. I'll cut promos on people. Oh, yeah. I'll get just like the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage with the microphone. You see Mean Gene behind me. He's interviewing the one-man gang. If you notice, this is a little bit of an Easter egg for my videos. If you see who's over there, it's usually because of who we're playing. And if y'all really know wrestling, you'll know why the one-man gang is there and why Jake the Snake's standing to the side with Damian ready to come in, because it's where they're from. The one-man gang's from Chicago, and Jake the Snake was from Stone Mountain, Georgia. So that's Chicago and Atlanta, the personification of it behind me. So if you see Mean Gene interviewing a player, that's usually because that's the wrestler that associated with the city that we just beat. So one-man gang, Chicago. And that's why he's talking to Mean Gene right now, because they just lost. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I'll do a promo on some motherfuckers. They come in here with that stupid shit. They start trying that shit. We will put them down. Whether it's you guys commenting them and telling them to put them in their place, I'll get to it eventually on the video, too. Because that's not what's happening here, y'all. This is not the space for that kind of stupid-ass fucking talk. Because we're positive, we're going towards something, we're building something big. And we have the mindset that's expansive and abundance. And not limited, like this guy who came in here today. It's very limited thinking the way you think, Mark. You got to realize that, man. You got to open yourself up to the realm of possibility in your own life. You may be limiting yourself in the same way, and you don't even realize it, man. So expand your horizons and realize what's absolutely possible. And stop limiting yourself and limiting the Raptors in your own head, because you may be living a lesser life just because of that. So I will just say that right now. Yeah, fun guy. Yeah. Laughing my ass off. It's hilarious. I hope y'all, yeah. Okay, Graham's seeing me fired up. Oh my gosh, yeah. All right, Paul B. Let's see. Maybe we'll win the chip this year, and the bubble Tampa season or the hiccups in the dynasty that we're just continuing. Yeah, I totally. This is exactly what happened, man. The pandemic came. We had to be displaced. We were at a disadvantage. We had a horrible illness that struck our team right when we started to get our thing going finally, and it just fucked up our whole season. Last year is an aberration. It really is very similar to when the Spurs had one year where they didn't make the playoffs. They had their absolute worst year, and they ended up getting the first pick and getting Tim Duncan the next year. Tim Duncan and Scottie Barnes are very similar in this way, where a team had their down year and they ended up getting a lottery pick, and then they just added to a team that was already a playoff team. And people laugh at me. They say, what, the Raptors were a playoff team last year? Yes, motherfucker. In normal circumstances, if they were in Toronto and there was no COVID, they would have been a playoff team last year. And so, they did just add a premium lottery player to a playoff caliber team already. And that's why people are underselling who we are. They don't realize this, that we were already a playoff team and we just added a lottery pick on top of it. And we're badasses, and we're going to show that more and more. He's the number 4 pick for a reason. He's going to get better and better. And anybody who thinks that Scottie's not going to be a good pro or one of the top players in the league, he's going to be a top 5 player in the NBA by the end of his career. You better believe it, because he's got all the skills and he's got the drive and he's in the situation where he's going to succeed. So it's just going to happen. Oh, yeah. I'm a fun guy. Let's see. All right. Well, let me make sure I don't skip any of these. These are all important. Monty Python, just had my blood work done. Back for the finish. Oh, my gosh. So you were here at the beginning and you left and then you just came back? This is how long my live streams are? Man, I need to really trim them. I don't know. Oh, my gosh. Mike Python is saying, I think we need 2 centers, man. One for defense, one for offense, maybe kind of thing. I think we only need one. I think we just need a defensive one. I don't think we need an offensive center, because honestly, we have so many offensive weapons. In some ways, it's going to get to the point where we don't have enough balls to go around because we have so many different guys that can be scorers. I mean, how many guys last night got 20 points? 4 guys got 20 points. And it wasn't even Gary Trent, who was one of them, who's gotten 30 points every game. So I think finding the scoring isn't the problem. It's really the defensive stuff on a big pivot, controlling them from getting so many rebounds, so many easy shots and looks around the basket. Just somebody to bother somebody like Vucevic a little bit more and make his life a little bit more miserable. That kind of stuff is what we need. It's a defensive one, not really an offensive one. I'm a fun guy. Whoever Anderson is, fuck off. You must have said something to piss me off. You know what? Listen, he just said that we would never win another championship without getting another Kawhi. Is basically what he said. He said that we need another superstar. And then he just started talking down on our team in different ways, or Scottie Barnes in particular. And I'm just not having it. We're not here with this kind of negativity. There's so much other places there's negativity towards the Raptors. This is not a space for that. And if somebody comes like that, I mean, you can be fair and be critical, but if it's a new person that I've never seen before in here and they're starting on that foot, you're going to fucking be shown the door right away. I'm sorry. At least come in here and let us get to know you. And if you want to be critical of the team and we feel like you actually have your heart in the right place, then we'll listen to you. But if you're somebody new, we don't know who you are. For all I fucking know, you could be a Boston fan just acting like you're a Raptors fan. So that's why I won't listen to them. I'll just cut them off. Pirtle and Bamba, and this thing's over. Yeah, Pirtle would be a great addition. Bamba would be fine too. I'm a fun guy. Headband tightens Boucher's brain to work smarter. I love it. I don't know what it is, man. I think it is maybe like a Mr. Miyagi, like blood sport, tie it up, and I'm going into the arena for battle kind of thing. Sue, way to deal with the trolls, Lex. Good on you. We don't need that here. Positive space. Yeah, it's just unnecessary. Bro, there's so many other places you can go and be like that, and everybody will get right on the train with you, and you can ride your little negative train all over town with those people. But this isn't the place for that. No. The people that are here with me and have been here with me for months now, we don't stand for that kind of shit. And that's why we put this station is for this reason. Monique's saying don't sleep on the Raptors. Nobody should have been sleeping on the Raptors this whole time. This is a very special, weird animal that the Raptors are overall. That you cannot really predict who they are, what they're going to do, and nobody's going to want to play them in the playoffs. They're really not going to want to play us in the playoffs because we're playing playoff basketball all year long. So you think by the time we get to the playoffs, we're going to be losing a beat? No, we're going to be going into another whole gear that's above the playoff gear that we're already in the regular season. So it's going to be insane. It's going to be so insane. Paul B, I just had an idea of doing the dunk countdown to shake your rump, and number one, Scottie's 3 dribble dunk lining up with the oh at the end. Listen, Paul, if you want to produce like a clip and post it on my channel, or we just go over it, however you want to do it. It's up to you, man. You can produce or put this together however you want. You could just list it and we could put the links in the comments. You could just talk about it and go over it. I could even maybe possibly try and hook up my television and put them on behind me and we can talk about it in real time on the show. I don't know. We'll look into the different possibilities technically that we can do this collaboration for the Dunks of the Year at the end of the season. I love this idea, though. I think this is a brilliant idea, and I'm really excited to do more collaborations with different viewers on different projects, whether it's Callie's Stress Meter, Tom Duke's Mascot Matchup of the Day, Paul B's Dunks of the Years. Y'all, if you want to have a thing with me here, like Sue was talking about watching the minutes before at the beginning of the year. She was very worried, and she's kind of doing the minutes watch for a while there. Everybody's had a little factor in this channel, whether it's GB and trivia champion, stuff like that. I love it. More collaborations in little mini ways with each of us in any kind of way, whether it's Graham drawn pictures and send them to me, all kinds of stuff. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. Let me go forward. All right, I'm going to try and finish up, guys. I know we're close to the end here. Okay. It was nice to see Zach get in foul trouble. That's what Monique's saying. Yeah, we went at him a little bit. He didn't have that good of a game last night, honestly. He's hurt, though. His back is messed up. He was 6 for 10. That's pretty good shooting. 15 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. He could have been way worse. Like, he's honestly a great scorer. And honestly, there's a lot of debate this week. Would you rather have somebody like Zach LaVine or Gary Trent Jr.? And I think right now I would rather have Gary Trent Jr., even though Zach is probably a little more established and more honed with his game already. But the potential for Gary is still so crazy, like from what I'm seeing. So I think I'd still want him. Okay, let's see. My Python saying telltale sign of good coaching is execution. Agreed. Yeah, it really is. Good coaching, the execution is really important, especially on those trick plays that we don't do all the time in the games, like the cascading thing we talked about with the putback by Precious when Gary missed the layup, or just that inbounds play with Scottie and OG. That is like really good, like execution from good coaching. John Collins is probable to get his ass kicked tonight. Whoa, Paul B showing the fire. I love that. I like that. John Collins is probable to get his ass kicked tonight. Yes, it's all about comedic timing. Yes, I love it. Yes, fully healthy Raptors. That is something on the down low, Monique. I was so gleeful last night when I heard that Kem was coming back before the game. I was like, yes, we're all back together again. The band's back together again. The only thing on the injury report is this tragic story of this poor man that's like hiding somewhere in Miami. But otherwise, the band's back, baby. We're all back together, and it is so nice to see and stuff like that. Yeah. Paul's talking about Ad Rock. I'm not sure what he's saying. My Python saying, I like this safe, positive environment you created. It's so unique. Yeah, man, listen, there's like so much negativity in Raptors Nation, and some of it is warranted, but so much of it is so unnecessary. It's just miserable people wanting to tear something down because they have power to tear it down. It's like, so what that you think that Pascal's an idiot and you want to get him traded and you hate him and all this kind of stuff? Who cares? Keep that to yourself. We love him and we want him to succeed and we want the Raptors to win championships. We don't want to be like, oh, they can't win a championship. We don't want to be Debbie Downers. We want to allow for the possibility, because honestly, that's actually what's happened this week. Is we see it just in these present games that just happened. Is the realm of possibility in our minds was open by the players and by us that they could beat these teams, when a lot of people, experts or NBA people, would be like, there's no way the Raptors have won these last 4 games in a row like this. Well, they have. And that's being open to the realm of possibility for success. And we're getting it, baby. We're getting it. And some of these guys that are like this mindset, that's very limiting, and it doesn't allow for success in their own lives. And that's why they can't see it in this bigger picture for the Raptors, is because in their own lives, they're limiting themselves with how they see things too. So that's the abundance mindset. And it's crazy because Pascal is doing this. He mentioned this guy, Troy Brown or whatever his name is. He is a motivational speaker. He's a positive speaker. And he's somebody that Pascal's listening to like crazy. And basically the guy's just telling you your potential is unlimited. You should never think that you're closed in and stuff like that, and that you can do more and more as you go, no matter what, and stuff like that. And that's really what it is. Raptors over everything. Monique, that is my heart. That is your heart. That is why we are family. That is why this is a big, huge bigger thing than all of us is this life as a Raptor fan, as Raptor Nation, and just living this life, man. Oh my gosh, Raptors forever, Mo. I'm with you. That's how my heart beats as well. Sue, nobody. I had to do it the Mel Assman way. Will want to face us in the playoffs, especially the first round. You can guarantee that the teams at the top are watching right now and hope we get into top 4 so they don't have to meet up with us. Oh yeah, nobody's wanting to play us. Nobody's gonna want to play us in any kind of place, in any kind of capacity for this whole playoff time. And honestly, I hope we have really good success. Like, listen, the way we're playing right now, I think we can get the Eastern Conference Finals and that we can make some big noise tonight. None of this first round out first thing, none of this second round out thing. I want to get us a good chunk of playoff games and get us some good experience for these youngsters right off the bat. Scottie, as a rookie, can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That would be huge. So I don't see why we can't, because honestly, half these Eastern teams are pretenders and they can't hang with us. We have their numbers. We've got them figured out, and we can contain them and we can handle them. We've already proven that. And when the playoffs come, our style of basketball just becomes more and more important. Like, they double down on what we do well in the playoff style of game. And that's why we're going to be so nasty. Oh, yeah. Paul B., what rank are the higher ambitions? Because I know Raptors are 7th in the East. Higher ambitions. You were talking about that Chicago player potentially being nervous hooping in front of Drake. I'd be the same with Ad-Rock. Well, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I want to get, honestly, I always wanted to be in the top 4, get home court. But if we can get in the top 6, I'll settle for that, because the top 6 teams are solid. There's pretty solid teams up there. Miami, Chicago, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. I think they're for sure going to be in that top 5. And Brooklyn's really questionable right now. And Cleveland, I don't want them to be up there. I'd like to see us join over Brooklyn or Cleveland into that top 6. And if we get 6, 5, or 4, just as long as we're not 7 and below, I don't want to fuck around with the play-in. As long as we can get into the top 6 by the end of the year, I'll be happy, because I don't want those extra games. And the chance of getting put out by one game is really scary and is fucked up. You don't want that. So, Paul B., if we were the 8th seed and at best are a second round team, well, that means we just eliminated the number 1 seed, and that makes us the best. Yeah, I mean, we've beaten the top of the Eastern Conference twice, actually 3 times this week, if you think about it, because we've beaten them around and knocked them back and forth out of the top spot, because they're right there, Miami and Chicago, back and forth, boom, boom, boom. And we've beaten those 2 teams 3 times in the last week, and we're about to beat hopefully Atlanta twice too. So yeah, I was thinking, oh, you're making a Goran joke. That's why I don't understand that. I was thinking, like, listen, 5 or 6 is probably realistic. If we can get 4, that would be great. But I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. As long as we get in there and somebody falls out. It's Les Brown. Yeah, that's what his name is. Les Brown, not Troy Brown. He's an excellent motivational speaker. And it's not even Chris. It's Pascal that's listening to Les Brown, like, all the time. Like, he says that's all he listens to is Les Brown in his off time. So he's getting all that motivation in the stuff that he says, Graham. So you know what he's saying. So you understand what I'm talking about. All right, we're over 2 hours. I'm going to go. Thanks for being here, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Hawks. Limit their 3-point shooting. Really take care of Trey and watch out for him, and watch out for Herder and Bogdanovich. And hopefully Collins isn't playing. We'll see. But even Collins wasn't really a factor on Monday in a lot of ways. He was not an important player in the game. We negated him with our length. He didn't do jack shit. So hopefully they'll be tired because they played Phoenix. But of course, people will say, oh, we should be tired because we had an overtime game. But, that's not how it works at all. We are a crazy team that cannot run out of energy, apparently. So, all right, like, comment, subscribe, share. Thanks for being here. Let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Hawks tonight. Get a 5-game win streak. This is insane, y'all. The fact that we can actually win out this whole week is absolutely incredible. And it is a real testament to what this team has accomplished this week. This is insane, y'all. They really shouldn't have won every single one of these games this past week. And the fact that they did is so, so positive for the future. It's amazing. Oh, my gosh, y'all. All right, everybody. Yeah, you guys have a great day. Thanks, Monty. Hey, thanks, Paul. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Monique. Thanks, Graham. Thanks, everybody, all the new people who came in, even Mark. I'll say thank you, Mark, for coming in and light my fire. Woo! Yeah! Let's go, Raptors!